Well, hello everybody, and welcome back. We are here on UMBRAL session 3, and we're going to getting into our campaign here on Bugbear's Basement. Towers asked me what my favorite thing about Bugbear's Basement was, and I jokingly said because it's mine. Actually, it's a lie because this is probably the least mine show I've ever done. This show is definitely people's, right? Whoever's on. But I do like my little intro I played with my band. Did you ever listen to it?
Nope.
You should.
Great.
Yes,
You
sir.
have a band, Chester?
Yes, I am a semi-professional these days. I used to be a professional for a good decade, but I got married and decided to, be normal. So I stopped doing that, but I still do a lot of professional stuff. But I had to go to such extents here, Tower, in Japan, that I had to create my own production company just to make any money off of music. I mean, how sad is that?
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Chester, don't worry. You'll never be normal to us.
That's fair. But one of these days, I'm going to have to sell all that stuff because that's actually, I got like literally a little warehouse full. I can throw on a full on arena style music festival, Well,
Well,
Really?
yeah, I
one of
don't
these
know if
days you got to do it.
well, no, I have. I've done several, but I shouldn't say full on because I doubt the biggest thing I've ever done is around 50,000. I wouldn't want. I don't think I can handle 100,000 plus. I'd have to buy more equipment. But I can handle, kind of reasonable music festival. How about that? But
Mhm.
So I got full stage stuff. I even got back screens. I got towers that I can put art and stuff on. I actually have one thing where I built these towers, and I had a contest for the festival, and I was surprised how many entries there were. We, because it was a contest, so I set up where people would vote and stuff. But the final winners created these. Gee, I don't know, 30-foot tall. Uh, uh,
Uh,
Very, it was well, the whole thing was like the full tower height, so it was like 30 feet or something like that. It was letters of the festival, which was called Night Wave, and they had night and wave on one on the left side and wave on the right, and but they had all the letters, kind of, like expressing culture of Japan and stuff in each letter, right? But it was pretty cool though, dude. That was pretty neat. I didn't have to pay a penny for that.
Very nice.
That was the best part. But anyway, welcome. I'm going to go over here and hit the like and share. Hopefully, everybody had a very good Christmas. Mine was quiet, but mine's not really starting yet because my kids are coming back tomorrow, so we'll do stuff then. But anyway, let's go around the horn here and let's ask Lady, how was your Christmas?
I spent it with water because on Friday and Saturday I didn't have water for a day and a half. Then the water came back. We looked for leaks, couldn't find any. And with me, and my brother, and then my brother left to go be with his family, and I spent it playing online at home. No phone calls, just text messages. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
What did you play?
That's it. I played the Farmer Sim 22.
Oh, you got
Farm
the
Sim
new one.
22.
I have the
Yeah.
what is it, 16 or 18? The one just before that. Yeah, I love that game.
19.
19,
what?
yeah. That's awesome.
Like every
It's
2 years or
really
something like
game.
that.
Yeah. You guys ever
Actually, I'm
play
trying to work
Farm
on
Sim?
Mars, actually. I'm sorry?
No, I
No,
was talking to these guys.
Okay.
You guys ever play
I
Farm
haven't
Sim?
tried it.
Yeah, I
I
love
have
it.
not.
It's so awesome. That's a grind game, though. You got to be old school to play that game. That's for damn sure.
Hmm.
Well, that's
But it's
cool.
very relaxing.
It is. It does have a zenness to it, doesn't it? How about you,
Yeah.
Tower? What did you do for Christmas, man?
I worked. Yeah, I worked both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Well,
And got time
you're
and a
young.
half.
You're the ones who do that.
Double
Get
time.
double
Oh
time,
no, it's
double
not
time. Nice.
double time and a half. Trust me, GOP knows it's not just the young ones. It's everybody who has to work that day.
I don't.
Yeah.
I have others to do that. I don't do that anymore. When I was young, sure, I did just like you did, Tower. But these days, I'm the boss. I get to say what's what. Well, that's not really true. I always have to make sure it gets done. Damn it! Oh well.
Hmm.
Oh well. So Tower worked. You didn't spend some time to go out with your lady.
I went out there Christmas Eve,
Nice,
gave her present, and then went home.
sweet. No, that's fun. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if
GOP got
we're not really sure if she saw it that way, but rock on.
it. Do
Uh,
what you gotta do.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Lady, turn down your mic like 5%. Yeah, Dave is saying, yeah, no, I don't know why we often have trouble with Lady's mic, but today she's just like a megaphone. I don't know. I turned down the whole system for me. I could probably adjust it, Dave, without her doing any. What am I doing? Stop doing. Oh yeah, I can do it here. So what's her volume sitting at? 200%, because I usually have trouble with her. So let's bring her down to 120. Lady, could you speak for me?
Output. A B C
Lady?
D E F G A B C D E F
Now I
G.
can't
Yeah.
hear her at all. What did you do, lady? What did you touch?
I turned down my. Well,
Yeah,
that's
don't
input.
you touch anything.
Output.
I'll let me touch. I do the
Well, it's
touching,
too
lady.
late. I already touched it.
So
Output at 71%.
put it back up to 100 where it was. I did the
It wasn't
adjustment
at
on this
100.
side.
Okay, how about that?
Are you at
Test
100%?
test. Not quite. I'm at like 96.
Okay, let me readjust you here. All right. Go ahead, keep talking.
That's just the output. I download down my input too.
No, that's okay. You shouldn't have touched anything. But that's all right. I got you back to normal now. It's all right. I got you at
Okay,
150%. It works. So.
it
Cool.
works.
All right, thanks, Dave. I thought it was a little loud too, but I
Thank you,
just kind of
David.
turned my system. My I have a I don't know what you guys are using for headphones or mics or stuff, but I use a headphone. I went and bought, and it's a fancy. I don't know what it's called. Let me see. I got it right here. Um, well, it's in Japanese. That's not going to help. Let's see. I guess I trans that as Mellostones. I guess I don't know what the English is usually different. But anyway, here it is. It's a HyperX. I don't know what that means, but anyway, it's a headphone and it's got a mic here with sound outside sound deadening on it, and it has this little thing I clip on my shirt, and I can do all kind of adjustments to the sound. I can mute. I can do all kind of stuff. It's pretty handy. What are you guys using?
My cell phone.
Huh, lady?
Yeah, I do this on my cell phone every day.
Lady, you're just
Oh,
using a mic, just a straight mic.
I'm using mic I bought off Amazon. Let's see.
Oh wow.
Audio something.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all. You turned your head away from the mic. Oh, I
I moved
really.
my mic.
Oh,
Audio
yeah. So
something.
you're just using a mic. And GOP, are you a little more professional?
Not really. I'm using a headset. It's like, well, it was like $80, but I forget exactly what kind it is. But it's already kind of falling apart, so I probably need to get something new.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying a new one too. I don't know. I didn't spend much more. It was like $150. It's not crazy expensive. I know some of them get up to like $1,000. It's like Jesus, man. Yeah, I don't know
Well,
what that was, Tower, but you need to get it looked at. That sounded
What?
like an episode of Star Trek for a second.
What?
Tower, are you being abducted by aliens?
I know a
No.
tricorder's going on.
Huh? No.
What was that sound?
Yeah, it was really
I don't
creepy.
know.
But anyway, so awesome. Let's see here. GOP, what did you do for Christmas? Try to get around this here.
Well, I also worked on the holidays, but I spent that Tuesday with my family. So I went out to Indiana. We all hung out and you know presents and some games. Yeah, it was nice.
That's cool. How big is your family? How many people in it?
Um, well, I was just with my parents were there. My younger sister and her fiance and their kid were also there, and my older sister, my niece and nephew, they ended up not not going with us, but it was still it wasn't like a bunch of us there, but it was enough.
Oh, well, I
So,
haven't seen my family in 30 years, so,
mhm.
you know. I'm the thing with it is too is my sister, she is a decade younger than me, right? We're 5 years split and I'm the oldest. And she so when I left home when I was like 16 really, when I went to university. And although I kind of stopped in for visits here or there, it was quite rare. I was kind of out, right? So I really don't know her life from 6 years on.
Hmm.
I know she's been basically married 3 times, which isn't good.
Yeah, you would think after two you'd kind of take the hint, but
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. But she seems to be happy now. And she's got a bunch of kids of her own, and she married a guy who's got a bunch of his own kids, so she's got like 7 now, I think.
oh man, it's a well, you know, lucky number,
Maybe, yeah.
right?
But I mean, that's a
Yeah,
way
well,
to do it. I mean, if you got kids and you're divorced, you're basically looking for another divorcee, right? I mean, that's the way it is. Because, any other person isn't going to, especially a man, isn't going to take it up. So, and if he does, he's a moron.
true. That's very true.
Well, I mean, I'm not to be mean to anybody, but you're a straight up moron. Because the reality is, even if you're married to a woman who hasn't had many relationships before, and you're basically her entire life, and you have kids together, kind of like my situation, a woman will never, ever, it is a biological impossibility, will never love you as much as she loves that kid or those kids. She never will. You'll never have that kind of love. And if you put a level of separation between it, the fact that they're not even your kids, oh my Jesus, dude. It's just
Mm.
absolute failure from day one, right? So yeah, and it is what it is. But I mean, I'm assuming that the young people understand this truth. The young men over in America, do they understand this truth?
I mean, I can't vouch for everyone, but I would assume, hopefully, I
Yeah,
don't know, Tower. This is a question for you.
yeah, he's the young one.
You're muted, buddy.
He is
Oh
muted.
yeah, I know my value.
Oh, good. That's good. That's the right answer, Tower. Very good. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Happy to have everybody here. It was the Doctor Who time. It was. That is true. But that's well past now, Dave. However, I do want to make one more shout out before we start, and that is well for me. Today is the 28th for me. But for you guys, it would be tomorrow, I guess. But Stan Lee's birthday, he'd have been 100 years old today or tomorrow. And just want to give a little bit of shout out to Stan. I mean, there are some humans that have made, pretty important impacts, especially over there in America. Of course, we have the founding fathers; those they're important. Sergeant York, shan't forget him. Barbara Streisand. She even has her own very own situation. It's pretty good. But there's been some important people, but Stanley's up there. He's certainly affected my life. Did he affect you guys at all, or is there no comic booking amongst you?
I mean, I read a decent amount of comics, not as much as I think the average person in this community, but you know, I read probably didn't read a lot of like the Silver Age stuff though, but
Well, I
except
grew
for
up
like, you
on
know,
that.
kind of
Yeah,
passing. Yeah. Well, I'm a bit probably a bit too young for that particular thing,
sure.
but yeah. But still, I mean, I still respect the guy for what he accomplished, you know.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the very few actual American icons. There are very few. I mean, celebrities come and go, right? They have a shelf life, but Stan Lee, his shelf life seems to be going on 60 years, right?
Yeah,
So it's pretty impressive. But he's a true full-on American icon. And because of Disney, which I'm going to give a bit of praise to Disney, so cover your ears. But he's because of that, he's worldwide known now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Stan Lee. It's sad what happened toward the end of his life there, but in a way, I'm kind of happy he's passed, so we don't have to see the absolutely abortion that these people are doing to his stuff. But
yeah.
it is what it is. But Excelsior,
Well, the
my
sad
good
thing is
sir.
though, like 10, 20 years, just because I mean he's always managed to be kind of somewhat around, but yeah, 10, 20 years, I bet you, young people are not going to even know who he is. Like
Now,
it's
nah,
just
I don't know about that. I think he's an actual icon. But because Dave makes a good point. Even if you didn't read comics, you have the '80s cartoon, which was very popular. Greetings, true believers. Yes, that's right. But we'll see GOP. But as it stands right now, he's one of those really big iconic people, because he did accomplish something and he dedicated his life to a thing. I mean, and don't we usually respect that? Um, uh,
yeah,
and Thunder always jokes at me because what my YouTube viewing habits are quite benign. That's the word he uses, benign. Because I really enjoy watching a master do their thing. You know what I mean? Someone who's dedicated themselves to something, and to see the result. Like recently, I've been watching this Australian guy. His name is Gavin Clark, and he's clearly a welder, fabricator guy. His whole life, he's an older dude, 50 maybe, and he's just freaking genius. I mean, the way he moves is a lifetime of experience, right? Like the fact that he knows exactly, and of course, being Australia, it'd be centimeters or millimeters. He knows exactly how many millimeters it is between the tip of his fingers and the top of his palm, and the tip of his fingers and the back of his palm. And he will move. He'll do super fast little measurements you won't even catch unless you understand what he's doing, right? But he'll do these little measurements because he knows that he's measured it. He knows exactly what that distance is, and he can use it as a reference, a very accurate one. Those kind of things, I love that shit, dude.
pretty clever.
Yeah, well, it shows the master at work. It's wonderful because especially with YouTube these days and the internet, and you can do anything. You want to go build a house, you can do that. You can learn how to do that. But there's a big difference between an amateur like myself doing something and a pro. The pro moves at lightning speed, right? It's
Yeah,
it's very very different. It is cool that anybody can do anything they want these days. That is neat. You can learn it. That is really, and YouTube's, and it's sad that YouTube, the people who own and control YouTube, don't understand its actual value because they just want, Cardi B, you know,
yeah, and it's so shallow. I
it
I
is
almost
shallow.
feel like they yeah, they would prefer it if all like the really interesting content wasn't even on YouTube. Like,
Oh no,
because
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
while,
they
A lot of
definitely want it.
documentaries,
Yeah,
a lot of the documentary shows I'll watch, they actually have like third party websites because they can't make money off of YouTube because they're
yeah,
not the algorithm.
Patreon stuff like that. Yeah,
And
no, it's true.
they
It's
make
true.
some of the well, there's like Curiosity Stream
Oh, that's
and another
great.
one. It's a bunch
yeah,
of collaborators went together and made their own version of like Netflix, but for documentaries on history,
Yeah, no,
engineering, all that stuff, because
Curiosity
YouTube
Stream's
wants
great.
to do it.
Yeah, and the thing is why though? All they're doing is creating historical documentaries or DIY videos, stuff like that. What for what reason would YouTube or well let's be honest, Google, why would Google want to ban them? But they do. And it's like why? It's just history stuff. Some of it is speculative, but so what? It's not,
yeah,
they're not pointing fingers. They're not even political. It's not political at all.
No, it's like they can't say Nazi without getting demonetized, even if it's
Oh,
about the topic.
thanks, Tower.
yeah. Now Chester's not going to make any money from this.
Any at
Uh,
all. Yeah.
You can edit it out.
I am going to move along, but I have to
Yeah,
say,
let's.
one of the things my wife and I like to watch because it's so zen. This is YouTube called Wilderness Cooking, and it's this guy. He used to be a chef. He's an older grandpa now, and he's an Azerbaijani. It's in this little Azerbaijan village, and he just does these wonderful little cooking things. He doesn't talk really. The only thing he said is supir, which means great in their language. But it's just super zen and relaxing. And he gets millions of views on each video, and he puts out a video a week. He's making like 50 grand a week, dude,
Hmm.
or
Hey,
more.
Chester,
Yeah.
will you give Tower one experience point
Uh-huh.
he can if he can tell us where Azerbaijan is on a map?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, is there a body of water nearby? We'll make it easy.
Yes, there is.
And what body of
So,
water as you wiki it right now?
uh, the Caspian Sea
The Caspian Sea. Yes. It is on the Caspian, and I'd love to go to Azerbaijan one day. It's absolutely
near
gorgeous.
Armenia and Georgia.
And what's their capital city?
Uh, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Baku. Yes. Yep.
Baku.
Yep. Always wanted to go there. And not far from Baku, just heading down the river, one of the tributaries is the little village he lives in. Anyway, let's move on. All right. So
What's the
I'm
name
good.
of the village while I'm on Google Maps?
Oh, I forget. It's a big old
Oh, like
Azerbaijani. I think it
I just,
translates
I just,
into uh,
I knew it was somewhere before, just for like actual grasp before I actually did go on Google. I knew it was somewhere between Europe and the Middle East. I just wasn't sure exactly where, but I knew it was
well,
somewhere that area.
it's not the Middle East at all. It's freaking Europe, dude. It's Caspian. Anyway, I can't remember the actual Azerbaijani word, but I think it translated as Rocky River of God or something like that was the village name. But anyway, let's move on. So as usual, I am going to be on the other side, so I won't be able to see chat or anything like that. We do have our dice thing all prepared, nice and pretty. So that's good. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So, of course, you guys know we're using Cortex Prime here. I would highly suggest you get you can find PDFs and stuff. They're not so expensive, and I'm sure you can find it for nothing if you tried. But nevertheless, I think it's a really fun system. We're enjoying it. We'll see how that goes. But of course, we are in the setting of Umbral. And in Umbral, we're basically um, we're working. It's kind of like FBI, X Files type of thing. But we're in the X Files. Dana and Scully actually had a little bit of supernatural power themselves. So maybe it's like supernatural. No, well, no, mix it. Nevertheless, we of course are in Boston with our people here, and they are at the Boston Dove office. Now, Dove stands for Department of Umbral Verification and Enforcement, and it's the American government's department. It's a deep black op. Type of department. So all these guys carry DOJ badges, of course, as you know. And the thing is, if you ever meet a DOJ agent, they're not from the DOJ. I truly believe the DOJ is just set up to simply have a badge, universal badge for Black Ops stuff, Black Project stuff. But nevertheless, and that's in real life, by the way. But nevertheless, the guys here they just had their first successful mission where they went to a little town of Newton, and they dealt with a little up and coming coven of witches and warlocks that well they screwed up and they pulled some poor astronaut out of time. And of course, now it's out of their hands because these guys are just investigators; they're not enforcers, right? But they've been back here for a few weeks now, and you guys just been kind of milling around the office in Boston, doing the things you do, paperwork, and maybe just keeping your gun skills up, and just the kind of stuff you do. Because this job isn't like there's 10 things to do a day. It is a little bit slower than say an FBI agent would have. But during that time, I'm sure some of them have gone to the Old Tail. This is a watering hole that is actually in the same building as Dove itself. You don't know the particulars, but it's probably owned by Dove. And a lot of agents and people come in, but civilians too. It's not barred. But this course is run by Madeline Chen, and she's a fairly nice lady, although she's not super talkative. But the food here is not bad at all. It's pretty solid. And honestly, in Boston, you can find some pretty good food. It's not quite the New York level. Then, of course, the place they went last time in Franklin's. Franklin's is not actually part of Dove whatsoever. But Franklin's is where the underworld people hang out. And I don't mean, when I say underworld, I don't mean like, mafioso types. I mean, vampires and, warlocks and wizards and, actual magical people, umbral people. It's kind of their hangout. If you ever see that show, Lost Girl? You ever watch that?
Nope.
Yeah, it's
I
so-so.
don't believe I have.
It's a so-so. It's got a bunch of seasons though, and it has its own cosmology. It's about a young succubus who doesn't really know her past, and the show is kind of about trying her figure it out. But in there's a bar which is run by a magical fella, and all the magical people hang out there. This is Franklin's is kind of like that, and this is run by Penelope, and she is a vampire, but she is on good terms. She's not, wanted by Dove, which would be something you guys would deal with. The supernatural can exist and be licensed and all that kind of stuff, which we won't go into great detail, well, unless we have to. But nevertheless, like I said, the past couple of weeks, you guys have just been, kind of doing your thing in Boston, and Boston's a nice city. It can be a little snooty, but it's a East Coast New Englander snooty. It's not like those damn Californians, you know. Anyway,
Mhm.
but it can be a little bit. But it's a nice little city. If you guys ever get a chance to go to Boston, just make sure you bring a lot of money because it's expensive. I don't care where you live, you don't know expensive. You don't, right? Even the Japanese, when they talk about the cost of things, I laugh. Even in Tokyo, because Boston is one of the most expensive cities on earth. It's rather ridiculous, actually. Um,
Really?
oh yeah, Boston is stupid expensive, dude. But nevertheless, but then one day, you guys come into the office as you do. You guys are professionals and you're doing your job, even though it's been kind of slow. But you get called into, Mr. Burquest's office. He's the Skinner for you guys. He's the boss, and he organizes this office, and he calls you in, and so he says, "Well, congratulations on your first successful mission. You guys did a really good job with that. And before we move on, do you have any questions?"
Just want to point out that the vending machine is busted.
Yes. Please give that to the secretary, and maintenance will look into it.
Do
Okay.
you have any hot tea?
This is not the lounge.
Hmm.
Oh, I will proceed to make my way there to get hot tea and biscuits.
Well, after
The
the
point is,
meeting,
we have no question. Yeah, we have
you
no
have no
question.
questions. You have no questions about the last mission, what has happened. The harlot did get away, did she not? You have no
She did.
questions
Oh, you know what?
whatsoever.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, you are right.
I am. Usually that is true.
Yes.
We needed
Uh,
a refresher of what's going on.
yeah. Well, that's
Refresher. You went to Newton. I kind of tried to sum it up quick, but you guys went to Newton. It was your first mission. You met with Agent Sims, who's a human person who's part of Dove, and you don't think Antoine's human. You get a vibe off of him, but it's not a very strong one. But most of the upper echelon of Dove are are supernatural like you guys, or umbrals like you. But you met with Sims. You found an astronaut body in the forest, and you guys followed it up. Went talking to a local warlock. It had been in Newton for a long time. Newton being special because it is a broken nexus, so a lot of kind of the low end of the magical world will try to go to those kind of places to use it, because if you find an actual magical node or an energy node, those things are wars have been fought over those things, right? So a broken one still, spittles out, magical energy. So the kind of low end hedge wizard types will end up around there, and that's exactly what happened. There was initially it was thought that uh, the um, the diva, the guy, was the one who was. He was the person that came in, and he was the one that was doing it all. But in the end, it ended up being the harlot, and she had organized it, and they tried a spell, and it failed, kinda. Because in the end, by you guys breaking the link, she had accidentally bound herself to this weird golem spell. She actually got the power she was looking for. So she's in the wind, and everyone else is dead, literally. Does that sum
You
it
ever
up?
find? Yeah. Hey, you guys ever find that weird spooky tentacle lady? As I'm eating a donut and getting crumbs on the floor.
Yeah, okay. He says, well, not as of yet, but of course that you needn't to worry about that. That would fall under the enforcement department, yeah, division. You guys, of course, are part of verification, right? You're the verification department or division. Sorry. He said that, but to be honest, I doubt they'll put too much effort in the matter, seeing as the only non-involved, because everyone hurt in it was basically involved in it, right? Except for the astronaut, but it's so long ago. Who knows if there's any parties that really want
Well,
to push it? It is illegal, though. We also lost the warlock there. What was his name? Melchizedek or
his
something. When I gave him some weird name like that. Um,
Mordecai.
Mordecai, yeah. Of course, it's definitely something that falls into our venue. It's a crime, so it is on the books. But he hasn't
Yeah.
heard anything he doesn't expect. One thing that's good that comes out of that question, GOP, is the fact that he does reiterify that at the local offices, like here at the Boston office or New York, Atlanta, or wherever. They're usually in a big center area, and you guys cover New England, right? And there's only a few teams here in this office. You guys, the offices around the world handle the verification part, the detecting, right? The enforcement aspect is an international level group. So you might see enforcers come here or there. There's probably a couple around that you don't even know are enforcers. But the enforcement aspect is handled internationally, and they'll use these local offices as kind of rest stop type of thing. But the actual teams at offices are all verification crews, like you guys.
Okay. All right. All right, well, let's see. So, how long are you guys gonna let us sit on our hands here? You know, get a little antsy.
Well, that's coming to an end right now. And he takes a case file off of the desk and tosses it over to you, since you're the one that asked the question. It's one of those closed ones that has the little side clips and the little band around it, old fashioned. And lady, you kind of look sideways again. Old school. These people are always old school. Why aren't they using a goddamn email or DMs or something like that? But it is what it is. And he gives you this file, and in the file, you have hardly any information at all, actually. And it just says that there is an incident and that you need to go to Beacon Hill, which is in Boston. We're in Boston, and you need to speak to Jack Taylor, who I'm showing right here. Beacon Hill being an iconic area of Boston, by the way.
Okay. So, let's see. So that was all that was in the file. Like, why even hand us a file at that point?
Well,
I
no,
do
there
have a
is
question
information on
about our
Jack
first
Taylor.
base.
He has put in a request for a meeting, and we don't know what it is, but there is information on Jack. And Jack, he himself is not involved in magic whatsoever. But his family has a legacy, and his uncle in particular is not the most powerful warlock in Boston, but he is rather influential one. And even though Jack is not, following the family stuff, or seemingly from this file doesn't even know much about it, therefore he's a little bit of the wayward son type of thing. Because of his uncle, it's a priority. So there's a little politics being pushed behind this file.
Hmm. We should know before we head out.
He said, I don't even know what it is. We just know a request had come in regarding Jack. Not even sure if he's the one that made the request. As far as I can tell, it's just coming from his uncle Jeremiah. But then again,
Looks.
Jeremiah
Yeah.
is on the council.
All right. We'll get this taken care of. No time at all. All right, everybody. Let's get going. I'm assuming the address and all that's in the file. That would make sense.
It is. Yes.
Okay. So I guess unless do you guys want to ask any other questions, or you guys ready to go?
Now,
I'm ready.
just a little more information on Jack. He's a computer engineer. He's quite young. He just graduated university 2 years ago, but he's working for a local software company, and he's already making 80 grand a year. So it's not
Oh,
bad.
Oh,
nice.
lady.
Doing background check on this guy,
Well,
social
you are doing
background.
a much more thorough one, probably. And you find out, lady, all the information you just gave. You also find out that this kid had a couple of reprimands whilst he was at MIT. Now, there's a local family, so there's probably some politics that got him into that university, which you can't find anything on that quickly. But you wouldn't be surprised. But still, that's a pretty serious science college, right? But he
Yeah.
got a couple of reprimands. It is sealed, but the reprimands are on the file, but you don't know what they were for. Beyond that, he's just kind of a local, and he's a computer geek, and he works for a software company that works toward creating security for professional online businesses and
This
webmastering.
is based off of your friend, isn't it? Chester,
No, it's not.
out of character. Oh,
No.
dang.
What
Okay.
friend? What are you talking about?
The software security friend.
Who? Pixel?
I don't know his name. No, your real life friend,
No,
not internet
I
friend.
I have a couple of friends who are software developers. I had a cousin who's dead now, but he developed
No.
all the software for your being able to use cell phones and stuff like that. But he's actually
No, it's
kind of famous
someone
in that world.
else.
But I don't have any security friends, no. But anyway, so there's your information.
All right. Let's
No
get
way to
going
get these
to Jack.
reprimands check open, can we?
I'm sorry, lady,
Without a
can you
court
speak
order.
up a little bit?
There's no way. There's no way to get these reprimands open, is there?
Not from where you are. I mean, if you want to go to the trouble of breaking into MIT, I'm sure you could find
Well,
something.
no, I'm not. But all right.
Let's let's just continue the story. Let's go find Jack.
All right. So, it's fairly late in the afternoon when you're given this file. And of course, you guys stop in because you're required to stop in, of course, to Mission Control. Although this time you have no need for any kind of teleportation or gateway, not teleportation, gateway use. In this one, it's literally down the street. It's not far. You could actually walk if you wanted to. Although that's not necessarily professional. But you have to stop in here, and of course, Lady Nima is here as usual, and she's just as weird and bizarre as she always is. Right? I mean, she's a very attractive, stunningly beautiful woman of some manner of Asian descent, but she always has this look on her face that she's looking right through you, like always. But anyway, you go and you report in, and she watches. You don't have to interact with her at all. You just go to one of the little chiefs and tell them you're going out, and of course they set up, make sure all the links are working, and off you go. And you guys pile in a vehicle. Who's driving?
D4.
Yeah,
The
well, I'll drive. It does. We're not like doing I'm driving.
I'm British. We're not very good at driving.
That's
You
fair.
are British.
That is
That's right.
fair. That
I'm
is fair.
sitting in
I'm
the back.
driving.
Okay, that's fine.
Have a license, but it's British license at that.
So, what would a modern American government department use as a vehicle? What do you think?
A
Crown
sedan.
Victoria.
No, God, you really don't pay attention to anything, do you, Tower?
Mm.
Uh, S.
Okay,
Or
okay. You
Suburban
want to be
now.
really real? A Ford. It's going to be a black Ford. What's the name of that? A Ford Explorer. 1 second.
I do believe they're called Escalades.
Or
Yeah.
something like that. It's always black with dark windows
Yeah, yeah,
and bulletproof.
yes,
Okay.
yes, it's one of those.
And
Yeah,
tires
something
that
like
will
that.
not
But
take you out.
no, it's the Cadillac Escalade. The Ford.
It's the Escalade usually, but nevertheless, it's an SUV. It's a black SUV. It's like not stealth at all. But nevertheless, you guys go up there. Like I said, you could have walked. It probably only took you 15 minutes. But you guys drive over there in 5 minutes, and you park and you come to the address, and you knock on the door, and of course, arriving at the door is young Jack here. And he, as you can see from the picture, has quite the panicked look on his face. He's extremely distraught, and he's like, um, my uncle said someone was coming over. Is that you?
Show him the badge. Agent Lyons, DOJ. These are my associates. May we come in?
Please, come in, come in.
All right. We walk in.
Now,
Now
No, as before he interjects and he says, "Well, this actually isn't my place."
uh well, whose place is it?
He said, "This is my girlfriend Lynn's. That's why that's why you're here." And he actually pulls out of his pocket. Oh no, excuse me, on his phone. He shows you a photo of Lynn.
All right. You mind telling us a bit more information?
Yeah, well, my girlfriend Lynn, she's an architect here in the city. We both went to college here, this is her apartment, and I came over, past few days trying to find her, and I haven't seen anything. I don't know what's going on, so I just kind of went in on my own. She did give me a key, and he produces it, by the way, and he said that, weird things are happening.
What sort of weird things?
Well, he kind of just points to the living room.
I look in the living room.
All right, you guys
Is
had.
Lynn like your uncle?
Say it. What are you asking, lady? Be very direct.
Um, has we know of your family history. Is Lynn like your uncle?
He looks at you dumbfounded. He doesn't understand what you mean.
Oh, so he doesn't remember about the magic.
Well, like I said, in the file it says it doesn't seem that he knows much, if anything, about it.
Mhm.
Okay.
He
Don't
doesn't
know why
understand the
he would.
question. He's like, she's my girlfriend. She's an architect.
Great. Have you contacted her family or, uh, well, things are happening here though. So she hasn't been here?
No, he's been, like I said, the past few days he keeps calling and coming over, and he can't find her. He doesn't know where she is, and he just decided to go in. This guy is, if you haven't noticed, he's very shy. He's very, tentative in everything he does. So even though he has a key, he showed it to you.
Yeah.
He was. It's not like, because me, if I had a key, to a place and I couldn't find the girl, like in like an hour, I'd went in. He waited
Yeah.
days before he went into this place, and then he started seeing weird shit, and he called his family, and they called
So,
his uncle, he says.
what is going on in the living room?
Well,
Yeah. I tried to pull him away where they can go and investigate the living room.
okay.
Like keep him occupied while they investigate the
Now now,
supernatural element of it.
sure. Now, Tower, I would like you to make a note, that, it is, 10:50, 54. It was for me here in Japan in the morning. So, at 10:54, once again, lady separated herself from the party. Write that down. Just write that down. And don't blame me.
I'm
Um,
just in the next
You
room.
do this all the time.
uh, okay. What is going on in the living
Wait,
room?
shut up. What's today's date? I'm gonna date it.
You should. It is the
27th.
27th for you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever your time is. Just mark that down.
7:50 p.m.
There you go.
That's what we got.
7:50
Fall
p.m.
27. Well, I labeled it. Fucking
Okay.
goddamn.
Very good. Note
10:54.
taking there. Very nice. Very
I
nice.
apologize.
No, that's all right. We'll
Yes.
see what happens to you. We'll see what
Hmm?
happens to you. Now,
Yep.
whilst Lady has him in the other room, and the simple fact of the matter is, Lady, while you're talking to him, keeping his attention, he really doesn't know much. He's been dating this girl for 4 years, though. They met both of them about they're basically the same age. They were both going to different colleges in Boston. Has got maybe the most colleges per capita in the world. But they were both going to college similar time. They met each other, and they've been, they didn't go to the same university colleges, of course, but they've been dating ever since. 4 years he's been with her.
Okay.
But whilst you guys are in this very plain and normal living room, and you notice with this apartment, this brownstone, that as with most brownstones in Boston, they have been duplexed, right? So this is just one
Mhm.
side. There's a stairwell in the middle. You guys are on the right side, by the way, of the
Why does he
brownstone,
have so many lamps?
because she's a girl.
Hmm.
Have you never met
I
one?
don't. I don't explore her house. No.
Yeah, well, yeah, girls and lamps kind of go together. She's got an ottoman too. Take a look, and she's got a bonsai there, and she got some plants. This is such a. I tried to pick a very girl apartment. Did I not succeed, lady?
Walls should be a different color. Ceiling's okay because white reflects off the ceiling.
See, tower. See,
Hmm.
2 seconds.
And please look at the ceiling. There is no light on it, so that's why she
Dude,
probably has
all
more
I
than
need
one
is a
lamp.
TV on a
True.
dinner. I need a TV on a TV tray,
Uh-huh.
an Xbox on the floor, and
Well,
a folding chair.
she's got TV trays right here, or is that a folding table? It might be a folding
Now
table.
that is
No,
those are
that's
those
TV
are
tray.
TV trays. I'm not
They look
talking
like
about
TV
a
trays.
TV on the TV tray.
Oh, fair enough. That's how we
No,
live. Yeah, yeah, no.
you know,
Hmm.
would be really great if I could know what supernatural thing is happening.
I know. Well, we're trying to get to it. I'm trying. But anyway, but of course, there's a stairwell going upstairs, which is a communal stairwell, and more than likely, there's a bedroom and stuff up there. A lot of these things don't have, and it's weird in Boston. A lot of them don't have interior stairwells. You literally have to leave your living room apartment to go to your bedroom apartment. Anyway, this is similar. So this is kind of self-contained. In front of the camera here, there's probably a little kitchenette. But anyway, there is a modern door been put in the back, though, with a little bit of a balcony to look out onto the small amount of grass and tree you can find in Boston in many places. Nevertheless, you guys are looking around the room, and therefore you're going to give me a search roll. Not lady, just the tower and the GOP.
Now, this is your specialty, Towers. So what I suggest is you make the search roll. I'll assist you.
Now I'm asking for it, so I will
Okay.
use the. I'm not going to. Well, no, I am using. We're doing Doom Pool, so
Okay.
here we go.
Well, do you want me to assist him, or do you want us to both roll?
You can
Or
assist, which just gives a bump, a +1 bump to a dice, and I rolled a 1. Yay, we're starting off great. Therefore, that's weird because it's showing 2 2s here, even though clearly it was a 1, wasn't it? Oh, I see.
Yes.
Why did it do that? Okay. Anyway, we saw it.
Yeah, you got to
Uh,
click on it to see it.
that's a weird thing. I might have to change these dice. But anyway, so you
Mine's
guys
always
can
been like that.
either take a PowerPoint or you may put a complication in play.
we'll take a
Well,
point.
tower.
Oh, okay. Well,
Tower
What
can
would be
take a
the best?
PowerPoint or can create a
I'm
complication.
I'm trying to think of a way to put a complication on you.
I would think right now you don't need it. Just take the PowerPoint.
Okay, I'll do what Chester says. He's smarter than I.
Well, I'm just saying, in this situation, there's no need yet, right? And you can always
Yeah.
use PowerPoints. You guys should be spending them. Nevertheless, it's almost impossible for you not to beat this. But go ahead, make your roll.
Okay.
and remember, one of those dice is going to be stepped up one. So I
Well,
suggest
I got the 1d12, the 1d10, and the 2d6.
Okay, so step up one of those. Say so maybe do a D12, a D10, a D8, and a D6. Do like that.
no, you're doing the wrong one because I'm looking at the shortcuts right now. You're doing
Yeah,
the
that's for
handy
perspective. No. That's
for
for
the
per.
weapon.
No, it's not.
Perception.
Well, we're
Yeah,
using mental. What is your mental?
the mental. Okay,
What
let
is the
me
die
look.
for mental?
The day for mentally is. God, there's a lot of shit on this sheet.
Your mental is a D8.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, you should probably write next to your thing should be set up like this, Tower. You should have
Yeah,
physical, mental, social, and they should be big. And next to them, you should write the dice big, D8, D10, big, right? And then you have your
yeah,
three
yeah.
distinctions, and they should be right next to them. Should have a dice written really big, and then you have
Yes,
your
yes, yes.
skills.
My mental is D8, and then like keen-minded sleuth is D8.
Sure. And
Mhm.
what's your skill?
And my skills are for my notice is a D8, and
Yep. And you have a specialization in it.
I do notice.
Environments. Yeah.
What is your
Yes.
specialization?
Now I take out specialization.
You got a D6 in urban
Yeah.
environments.
Yeah, but what is it? Urban environments. Okay,
Yeah.
that's perfect. So therefore, we have 3d8 and d6. So step up one of those d8s to a d10 because he's assisting. So you have a d10, two d8s, and a d6. And I'm assuming you have
And
no asset that applies. So go ahead and make the roll.
well, you can also, if you remember, you have that eagle-eyed special effect. So for this scene, you can up that sleuth to a D10, but you down your warrior by one for the scene.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got my D10 and then my two D8s, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it like that for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Just in case we have to fight.
I mean, we are just starting, guys.
I know. I'm just trying to help him out.
18.
All right. So basically, you're gonna have a 16 and use one of the d8s for your effect die. I would assume you'll go. You go. You go. Of course, you can you can do a d10 actually because you can see how easily you beat me. That's in this case I asked for it, so I had to roll first. That's the game. But anyway, so very good success. Excellent. You guys are looking around, and Tower, you notice on this little kitchenette marble top you see right over here, you find some paper
I am
that
going to
stands
go to
out in this room. There's a notebook. It's open. And, well, you can see it's right here.
a GOP. Come check this out. I found some papers.
Okay, what's on the papers?
Words.
I'm asking Chester. I'm assuming
Well,
that.
he told you offhand that lady is still talking to him, but that she was or she is an architect. And you see what seems to be a lot of architectural drawings and little scribbles and stuff like that. But in the room, everything as you saw in the room is very just roomish. There's nothing here that stands out. It's the only thing in the room that stands out as being different.
Then what was bothering him here in the living room?
I don't know.
Maybe the carpet.
Do you want to maybe pick it up and flip through it, or?
Yeah, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
look through it. That's
I'm gonna
fine.
grab it with my hands, my
Okay.
bare hands.
So you pick it up and you're looking through it, and like I said, it's full of little notes and ideas she has, and some of them are just little simple notes. Meet Jack on this day, or a girls' night out, or this little notes here or there. But mainly, it's just architectural scribbles, ideas she has, and you. Flipping through, and on the bottom there, underneath, you find a photograph, a Polaroid, actually. Odd. Do people even use Polaroid anymore?
I
But
have
Oh,
a
he's
whole.
so
you do
expensive.
have a Polaroid. But there's a Polaroid, and you see the Polaroid, and the Polaroid is very interesting. It's of you see it, and it looks like a necklace of some kind that was taken on one of her pages, by the way. Hmm.
Hmm.
But
It has tentacles.
as you look at this Polaroid of this necklace, the room starts to kind of buzz. You're not sure if the sound is in your head or it's a real sound, but the room absolutely starts to buzz, and all of a sudden, you guys see something. You see on the floor, for just a brief moment, you see a girl. I'm showing you guys here right now. And she's frantically working on architectural plans, all kinds. She's just frantically working. She just appears in the room for literally a couple of seconds, and then she just fades out of existence.
When I see her, right
Hmm.
before she fades out,
Hmm.
I want to spend a PowerPoint, and I'm going to use my telepathy ability to read her mind.
Okay. Um, hmm. Okay. Yeah, do that. Spend your PowerPoint, and this is difficult though. So, how do I do that? I think I have to make a difficult roll for that, not an easy one. Hmm. So I'm just going to roll it like I normally would if I wasn't using Doom. So this is definitely going to be under that. And let me throw in one of those. Okay. Let me make a roll here. Alrighty. Once again, you guys, the both of you in this situation now. No, sorry, this you GOP. You
Yeah.
get either a PowerPoint or you can create a complication. I have unfortunately only created an 8, for my difficulty with an 8-sider for the effect die, so you should be able to beat it pretty easily. But do you want to take a PowerPoint or create some complication on the scene?
I'll create a complication. She's focused on her work, so she's not going to be thinking about people messing with her in this instance.
That
She's
which
her
kind of
focus.
plays into my low roll. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you a complication on
So
that.
go ahead.
Okay, let me just find my stats for this. So I spent some XP and increased my mental ability to a D8.
Oh, nice.
So I've got a D8. I've got D6 from my distinction. D8, D6. My occult is a D6, so I'll probably up that next time. And then what? I got a D8 complication, right?
No, a D6, of course.
Okay, so 3D6 and a D8.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then. Let me roll these. 2, 3, and a D8. Come on. There we go.
Okay. So how you want to break that
Okay.
down?
Oh,
Well, a
well,
9
what's your
beats me, so
9 beats you, and then the
a
D8.
D8 effect. Yeah, no problem. So even though it happens very quickly, you are able to pull it off. You have no failures in there. But what you hear from her during that brief moment that she just weirdly comes into existence in the room, and the room is buzzing, by the way. It almost feels like it's starting to shake, by the way. Although it does, maybe it's not. You're not quite sure what's going on here. But what you hear in her from using your telepathy is,
You just went out on the mic.
I know it
Is it
does
just
that. It
for
cuts out
yelling?
because it has noise cancellation. I screamed.
Oh, we're screaming. Okay. So
Horrific,
there's
horrific lady pain screams.
She's on her
okay.
POP. We need to give her some painkillers.
That's not at all the sound I was making. Yes.
Yeah, I I think it's more of the horrific, you know, mind torturing kind of.
Yeah, it was more of that. And with
Yeah.
that, so success on your part. And that would definitely be a scene. Hmm, is that worth an XP?
I mean, it was a
Huh.
pretty clutch move,
Yeah,
but
no,
okay.
I'll give you an XP for that. Yeah, I'll
All
give you
right.
an XP for that. But with that, the room seems to actually visibly shaking. Lady, you're out there talking to the boy. Everything's
Uh-huh.
normal. Everything's normal.
I
But
understand.
in this room, everything goes dark. The room literally dark. The lamps are still there, but it's almost like how when things get so bright, they're dark. It's kind of like that. And this appears. Let me bring it over for a
Oh,
better effect.
Oh,
it's a haunting.
I immediately whip out the cross around my neck and start saying, "The power of Christ repels you."
Yeah, yeah,
Except you're Jewish, but that's okay.
that's fair.
You know, I pull out my Hanukkah and I say, "The power of the
You're
Jews."
Hanukkah.
Well, the power of the Jews propel you. It's actually the word is compel. Just so you know.
I'm gonna start throwing fucking gold coins at her.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
Oh
Got
my.
code coin.
Oh my. But anyway, this thing rises out of the couch, and this is it the girl? Probably. It's hard to tell. It's very gaunt and drawn. This is you know exactly what it is. You've all studied. This is a specter, and it needs life force, and you have it.
I look at GOP and I say, "Now's not the time for the Ouija board."
Okay. Well, I guess we're getting into a fight.
You are
Can you shoot a ghost?
gonna
We would
try.
know. We would probably have some sort of knowledge ahead of time as to how to handle certain things like this in our training. We spent 10 years of training. I'm
You did.
assuming.
Yes, with these things right here in our reality, in this cosmology of this world, ghosts are lingered spirits. Often, what happens with a ghost is one or two things. A ghost is literally a person whose soul wasn't strong enough to ascend, and they were going to fall into the umbra or the veil. Sorry, but they got caught in the webbing. But a ghost is not dangerous, right? The ghosts literally can't do anything. They're just a lingering spirit that's caught in the webbing of the veil. They can spook you, but they can't hurt you. This is not a ghost. This is a specter. You guys know this immediately because it is fleshed. A specter takes place in this reality when someone dies and their spirit somehow magically gets locked in the body. So this is maybe, we don't know, this is Lynn's body or some woman's body that is being possessed by itself.
Well, we can shoot it,
Yes, you can.
is the
It is a
important part.
physical object. It is physical because ghosts actually can't do shit.
Alrighty then. Well, this will be fun.
It will be. So, what's your initiative?
My initiative is 28.
And what is yours, Tower?
Can I void this if I run outside to see Lady?
You got to still do an initiative. Your initiative is
Yeah,
18.
just tell me what your
Okay.
initiative
Yeah,
is. We
18.
don't roll them; they're just a solid number.
I got you.
I forgot to figure it out. How do you figure it out again?
It's a combination of your mental and physical, and then if you have any bonuses. So she's an 18, for instance.
I'm a 16. Okay.
Yeah, but you're not here. So
Right.
But anyway, it's very simple. You have your mental and physical are combined, and then any kind of specials you might have from skills or assets or whatever. GOP obviously has extra stuff that's helping him, which is fine. And so Tower, what is it?
18. 1-8.
Okay, so we are the same. We go at the same time. So, GOP, you are first. This thing is fast, by the way. It is fast. Also, with monsters, the way I'm shorthanding them, and eventually I will create a way more serious monster for you guys to face. But right now, I think this format is wonderful. But the way I'm shorthanding the monsters with their SFX is it's in effect. That's basically how it is. So basically, the room gets wicked cold. Not necessarily her touch is the coldness of her touch is what's going to damage you, but the room is cold. Therefore, there is a D6 cold complication going on in this room right now. Now that's not going to affect my rolls, but it's going to affect yours. In meaning that I get a bonus D6 when I make my rolls. But anyway, GOP, have at it, dude.
To argue that my character's from Chicago, so that cold doesn't bother him at all. But
No,
okay, fine, whatever.
no, you can't. You can't.
Yeah.
You picked the North Face in Skyrim.
Okay, so all right. Well, I'm going to try and get whatever little bit of distance I can in here, but I'm going to, however much distance I can get while still firing. So
Yeah, it's
let's
not
see.
gonna.
So
The
let's
room's too small. It's not gonna matter.
yeah,
And
kind of
I get,
figured
of
that.
course, you're gonna move and fire. That's fine. But
Yeah.
go ahead and make your dice roll.
Okay. So it's a 3d8 and a 2d6. All right. Clear the board here. 3d8 and 2d6. Okay, here we go.
Yay! I get another D6 to
Oh,
into a pool. Sweet.
that was
Thank you.
really really bad.
Well,
Okay,
no, it's not that. Yeah, it is really bad. So you got a
it was bad.
5 and a D8 effect. So let's go ahead and make my roll. Now, Well, the
A
monster.
6, whopping 6.
I'm just rolling off of it. When my Doom pool gets, I can add stuff or do things with it. But for right now, we're just using it straight. So what do I get? I get a let's see. I get 2d6, a d8, and a d10. So
You said there was a new scene, right?
no, it's the same scene.
Oh, would that complication that I put on you before still apply?
What complications you put on me?
When I was doing the mental thing.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't affect it at all.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
wondering.
yeah. Because well, you don't. You'll find out. You'll find out. Just trust me on that. But anyway, my roll. Okay, we have dice shaking. Very nice. Alrighty, so you had a success of let's see, we're looking at a 5 from you, right? And a D8
Yeah,
effect,
you beat
right?
me,
Yeah, yeah.
but you rolled 1.
No, I did not.
Yes, you
I
did.
did.
Look at
I did roll a 1. So, well, you guys, so you can either take a PowerPoint or add some kind of complication, but give me a moment to finish this though. So I will take this right here to success with the D10. Now, because of this specter, specters are nasty pieces of work, by the way. It's not a happy thing that you would ever wanted to have to run into, actually. So although this isn't my attack, right? My attack will come next because of the cold of this thing that it puts off, and it's just brushing you with its effect die. You don't take the effect die, so you're not getting a D10 stress. You're not getting that, but you do automatically get a D4 stress, which isn't much, but it can build up because that's every round. Every round that I'm successful against you in a roll, that is going to step up. So you have a D4 stress. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, and now you have a 1. You can either take a PowerPoint or create a complication.
I can I get rid of the complication you have on us with that or
No,
no?
no.
Okay.
You could do a complication that the house is insulated and the heater kicks on.
Maybe start set the house on fire. I guess maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Set the house
Oh wow,
on fire. That'll work. That'll get ladies' attention.
oh my god.
You
First
should.
gunshot will get my attention.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
Can I make a complication where lady could potentially notice what's going on in the room?
You certainly could, sir. By
Okay.
yelling out. Yeah.
Oh well, I did. I thought we got sucked into some other thing.
You
I was gonna say
kind of did, but with a complication, it will work. Yep. Absolutely.
okay, that's fine.
This bitch.
So you hear the haunting echo, and for a time, it looks like both the realities are in sync, and we are, and lady can hear what's going on in here and can interact and basically be a part of the scene now.
And Jack says, "Oh, I told you, I told you."
I'm
Told
Give a
about
shit what
what?
rushing that way,
Right.
hitting my ear things. Send backup now. And maybe, well, I can't do anything right now, but I
No,
can do
no,
that
hold on,
much,
no,
right?
hold on. Let's
No?
back up with that for a second,
I'm
lady.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Um,
I'll
that is
wait.
not what you do. You do
Oh,
not call for backup. You are the backup.
okay.
That's just how it works. So just keep in mind how our world works. There is no backup
Yeah.
unless the city is literally being attacked by a giant monster. There is no backup. This is your job.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah. So now, lady, you are part of the scene with us.
So lady runs in. That's what she's doing this round.
Yeah.
So and she goes last anyway, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
So now down to Tower 9. Now Tower and I go at the same time, but Tower, you go ahead and make your roll. What are you
Actually,
doing?
before I do anything, I'm going to spend a PowerPoint to create a duplicate of myself with one of my abilities, and my ability that I'll pick is guns. So I'll have two of myself with two guns.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
that
guns is
doesn't
a
work like
skill.
that at all.
Okay, then how can I use this? Because I can choose one
Okay.
of my abilities.
That's not how it works. Yeah.
All right,
Go
so
ahead, Jake.
your ability would be like you can create a clone of yourself. And your ability is basically like one of your special effects. It's like so
Okay.
it can have like the what is it? It can have like the hardened ability connected to it. You
I
know,
got you.
but you still have to spend power points if you're going to use it on that character too.
I got
But
you.
yeah, but you
You
can make
really
your
should have
clone.
given him something like strength or tough skin or something, dude.
They
Well,
use the
harden that is
list-
what it is. Harden is you spend a power point to become hard as stone
Yeah,
and
but
step down your points of.
you're creating a separate being.
He got my character that I'd already built.
I
He's got
understand.
in every way.
two.
So I was
So
going to create clones, so that makes four of us attacking this thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, in that case, if you're making a clone, you're creating a duplicate. The duplicate doesn't have your clothing, it doesn't have your weapons or your assets, it doesn't have any of those things. Now, for credulity's sake, we'll say that it's clothed.
I can't give it a knife.
you can give it
Yeah,
something,
but
but I would
that
assume it probably would
it
be
would
your
take an
action.
action to do that. Yeah, I mean, you can, sure, you could carry extra guns, you can carry all kind of stuff, but you're going
And
to have to equip it, which takes a whole
I
nother
had
round,
him
right?
set up like that. But yeah,
Okay, so I was thinking I could pull like a Zangief from the few games prior that we had done with GOP, where we essentially have like three of the same dude just whomping on this bitch. But
just
okay,
I was
never. Uh, yeah, that probably won't work too well then. In that case, I'll use my ability. So I'll use my hardened heart of stone.
Yeah, use that.
you,
Tower, you might want to work with GOP and just get rid of that power and pick something else. Yeah, I
I
don't
the
really
gotcha.
like
hardened
that power. It's going to be a pain in the ass for you, dude.
I gotcha.
the hardened thing is something it's more like a reaction. So you actually use if
Yeah, oh, okay.
Chester's attacking you.
I
Yeah,
can use it to cancel it out.
the description goes: spend a power point to become hard as stone and step down your opponent's effect die when they're trying to harm you.
Okay, so I gotta wait till he attacks me, and then
It's a
I could use.
reaction, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I got you. In that case, gun combat. So it'll be 2d12, d10, d8, d6. 2d12, d10. Okay, and I just have to pull up the dice now. 2d10, d8, d6. I believe that's what I. Yeah.
you said 2d12, a
Uh,
d10, a d.
yep, I'm retarded. I got you. 2d12. My app's loading.
Yeah, working off the cell phone is a bit of a pain in the ass, isn't it?
I don't have a
Well,
computer.
that's just wonderful for me. Thank you.
It's
Uh,
always a 1.
another a D8 added to my pool. Sweet. Okay. So,
All right.
nevertheless, we do have a very big potential here for success, though. I would. How you want to work that out?
So that was my gun combat. So that's whipping out my lucky MP5.
No,
So,
we already got that part.
yeah, we got it all. So
There's
we just need to make a decision here. What is going to be the effect? Which is going to be the effect die? You got to go with you go with a 14 and an effect die of D12, or you can go with an 18 and an effect die of a D10. Which do you want to do?
I'll
Because I
do the
have to roll
12.
15.
I'll do the higher effect die.
the
It's
18s.
15. 15.
Yes.
The higher effect die would be the d12. So
Yeah.
either, yeah, because I would assume you would use that D6 that's a number that's a 4. So you've got a D12 that's an 11 and a D6 that's 4, which
Yeah.
equals 15. And then one of the D12s, the lower D12, you're going to use as your actual effect.
Yeah, just
Or
tell me
you
which
could
effect die you want, dude. I'm looking right at it. You want a D10 effect die or a D12?
D12.
Okay, so therefore we're going with a 14. All right. So let me
15.
no 14. I'm looking right at it, dude.
11, and then the D6 is a 4.
Oh,
That's 50.
you could use the 4. Yeah, you're right. 15. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Right. All right. So let me make the roll for this thing. So it's a D10, um, a D6, a D8, and another D6 for the cold. Right. So let's see here. D10, D8, and 2D6. So let me go ahead and make the roll. Oh, you get a 1. You can either add a complication or take a PowerPoint.
I'll add a complication.
And I fail. So you can think about the complication, but
The
this
house is on fire.
no, it's
What?
not. Come on, Tower, be serious, dude. Um, uh,
Okay. Um,
so Tower shoots at this thing and literally blows the left arm off. It does
uh,
serious damage. This thing is sitting on a D12 stress. It does get its hit off against GOP first, though. So let me go ahead and do that. So once again, same as before, the D10, uh, the uh, the D8, two
it would
D6, and a D4 because there isn't an effect die on him. So let's see what happens here.
Chester, would this complication work since it's cold in the house, the thermostat kicks on, heating the room up so that it lowers your effect die with the cool?
No, it won't. It won't. It won't.
Okay.
You can't affect that. You can't do that. Nah. You could do something that gives you a bonus. Like you could say that you move in a position where the table blocks it from getting to you and gives you a bonus die. Of course, it's not attacking you, but nevertheless, you could do something like that. That's how complications work. But this
Arm?
sucks. Tower, excuse me, GOP. You get 2
Yeah.
power points.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, for instance, I can spend one of those points and say that it's going to have a complication whenever it attacks because it's lost one of its arms.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yep, that's exactly right. And you want to do that?
Yeah, yes.
You're
Yeah. In
not the
combat,
one
it's.
doing it. I'm asking Tower.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So,
I mean, I'm asking
complication.
GOP. I'm sorry. I'm asking GOP.
Oh,
Um,
I'm
uh,
very confused.
yeah, no. Hold on. Okay, Tower. Are you going to
Yeah.
take a PowerPoint and make a complication?
Complication.
What would you
It's at
like
a
to do with your
disadvantage.
complication?
Gonna say it's at a disadvantage because it's missing an arm.
Okay, fine. So we'll throw that on that. And GOP, you're going to do the same.
Can we stack them like that?
Well, they're affecting each of you individually. Now, if you took both of the PowerPoints instead of one, but both, it would take that complication and make it worldwide.
Oh, so like everyone. Well, then, Tower, don't bother spending that. I'll spend both the ones I picked up because I picked up 2, and
Oh,
I'll.
okay. I'll just save mine and keep the PowerPoint then.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
So
And I'll
now it's
spend my
worldwide
2.
complication. That's how that works, yeah. And sometimes at the end, by spending that points, you can also, certain you're not going to take this one, but certain complications can end up being something really useful. Like, say you find like a magical torch. Say it was a fantasy game. And you use the torch as a complication to either set things on fire or make light or whatever. You could actually spend experience points at the end of the game to make it an asset if you've taken and made an object an actual complication. So keep that in mind. Although this isn't that situation, but you can do that. Anyway, back to the roll. I have a total of 9, I guess, with a D8 kicker. Well, no, a D4 kicker. Okay, so I got a 9. Can you beat that?
All right. So what I'm rolling my for specifically for defense. Am I
You
just
are,
rolling a fighting stat, or am I rolling?
of course.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure. So let's
Yeah,
see.
it's going
My
to be your
physicals.
physical. It's going to be whatever distinction applies and whatever skill you have for defense,
Okay. So my
and any
physical is
assets that might apply.
D8. My let's see. My combat's also a D8, and let's see my. So if I'm doing fighting, that's a D6. D8, D8, D6, and then let's see. Do I have any? I've got a Magnum, but that's probably not going to help me in a defensive situation. Do I have anything useful beyond that? Sorry, I'm just kind of going through here real quick. Okay, so I have the ability to do an illusion. Can I create an illusion of
No,
myself to try and?
no, this is a defense. You could do that on your round. It's just straight
Okay,
defense. Yeah.
okay. I was just wondering if I
You
could,
could do that on
you
your
know.
round, something like that on your round. But this thing is sitting on a D12 stress, dude. All it needs is
Oh,
oh,
and I
you should
get.
have rolled another D12, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So it's going to be D12, two D8s, and a D6.
Yep.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yep.
All right. So I pull that out. D12, two D8s, and a D6. Come on. It's taking a while to load.
Yeah, it is a bit slow, but it is super handy though. I like it. It's useful.
It is still loading. Why is this taking so long?
Don't know. We're all waiting though.
Did you hit
I know. I hit it. I see it. Like it's got the three dots. It's like waiting.
What do
You
you
can.
are you on a computer, GOP?
Yes, I'm on a computer.
Huh.
I don't know why it's taking so long. It doesn't do this like ever. I wonder if I can cancel this roll and
Yeah, cancel and roll again.
try because it's not giving me the option to cancel them. I see
Refresh
rerolls on all the other ones.
refresh
Yeah, I'm
your
gonna refresh.
refresh your page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm refreshing. Okay, I'm gonna roll now. So it was a D12, two D8s, and a D6. We'll try rolling again.
There we go.
There
That
we
came
go.
out very nice. All right,
Much
no
better.
problem. No problem. You're able to successfully deflect her, so you take no damage. But like I said, the one-on-one interaction with her does step up your stress to a D6. Now, if it doesn't go above a D6 and you don't have an immediate combat after this, it will be gone, right? But it steps down. It depends on how long a gap you have, how it steps down. But you are sitting on D6 stress, which gives me a roll to make. Anyway, now Lady comes running into the room. You see, Lady, you see this thing, and GOP, or excuse me, which character's name?
Uh, my name is Lions. So,
Lions. Lions in this specter, which you've studied well, you know exactly what it is. It's very dangerous. Are in a death battle. The thing's missing an arm, and Towers, doing his ballerina stuff, and he obviously shot it. So Lady is in the room, top of the order. GOP. Now keep in mind, add a D12 to your roll. Okay.
okay, well, I'm gonna shoot it because that would seems like the smart thing to do in this scenario.
hmm
Okay, so 3d8, 2d6, and a d12. Just clear my board. So d12, 3d8, and 2d6. Oh, there we go.
Ooh, another
Had me
D6
worried.
for me. Sweet.
Yep.
Well,
But
well, there is a 14 there. and you can use the D12. And if I fail, you kill it. If you want to go that
Well,
route,
I have to because I can't do any damage to you beyond that. Like it's you're on a D12 dice anyways, so I literally have to use that
you
dice.
should.
Otherwise,
You should.
it's
You should.
pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we got a 14 from you, right?
yeah.
Okay. So let me go ahead and let's see if I can survive it. So we got ourselves a D10. We have ourselves a D8, and I have 2D6 now. Alrighty. Yeah, so that's a 14, so you don't beat it. You know what you should do? If you have a hero die, throw it in there.
Wait, where's where's the 14 on your end?
I have a 10 and an 8. Excuse me, a 7 and a 5 together. Oh, sorry, that's an 11. No, what happened? This
You have a
thing's
7
acting
and a 6,
weirdly.
but that's only you the I would say you would have a 7 and a 6, but it's
Yeah,
still a 13.
that's a 13. It's showing up weird. I'll have to. I think I chose a weird set. I did create a custom set.
No,
I have to pick
so
a. It's showing
you
up
got to
weird.
click on it, and it'll show
Yeah, I
you
see.
not
When I
only just
click on, I see,
uh,
but the rolling's weird. But that's all right. I'll just look on the click for now. I should probably change this dice. Nevertheless, I fail. All right, good. So you are able to, hip draw and blast the thing in the chest, and it falls down to the ground. And like I said, this thing does have some can become immaterial, but it is not an immaterial thing. So you have this body lying on the ground. Now that the magic is kind of left it, you see that it's an old lady. It's not doesn't look anything like that picture that he showed you of Lynn. Lying on the ground, missing an arm with a gigantic hole in its chest. So it does not look like this. It looks like just some old lady. And with that, as the scene comes to an end, Jack kind of strolls in behind, following behind Lady, and he looks over and he says, "Mrs. McCready."
that's a good name for an old lady.
Thank
It
you,
is.
thank you. Yeah, a little bit of nostalgia. So it's not Lynn, it's Mrs. McCready. So what do you guys want to do?
Uh,
Inquire Mrs. McCready's.
yeah.
He says, "Oh, she lives next door." He points out toward the hallway.
I'd say she lived next door because she's currently dead on the floor.
Yeah, what did you guys do to her? She's a nice old lady. She made cookies.
You didn't
Yeah,
see her as
her
I
room's
saw
over
her.
there, and she came out of the sofa, freezing cold and partially, dead.
I stop him because it's going to sound like it's completely insane because this guy has no idea about any of this stuff.
Oh, her
Jack,
cookies were shit.
why don't you wait for us on the other side of the road until we get this cleaned up?
No, let's not. Oh, no, okay. I thought you were talking to Tower. I'm like, no, don't separate the party anymore.
Stop.
No,
Never mind.
he's fine. Just deal with it. One of you let Lady continue dealing with him, and you guys do
No, that's
whatever
all
it
right.
is you
Because I
should
was like,
do.
if
What are
that
you guys
wall's
going to do?
attached to if
Well,
is
I
that wall
mean,
attached to Miss McCready's apartment?
it's a duplex, so I'm assuming.
It is. It's
Where
right
did you
across the
come
hall.
out?
So let's go check out her apartments. Well, first, I mean, I want to see if there's anything on the body
Mm,
Or
currently.
under the
thank you.
sofa?
Yeah, or
Yes.
under the sofa, where she came from.
Well, GOP is checking the body. By the way, everyone gets 3 experience points.
All right. I didn't even get to do my one-liner either.
I'm going to light a candle so the room doesn't smell like, gunshots and flesh.
Well, you can't do anything about that.
Taking
That's for damn
pictures, of
sure.
course.
Now, lady,
Yes.
whilst you're trying to calm down Jack, this is when you call in a cleanup crew.
Yeah, connecting with the cleanup crew and having them to come to the place.
Right, and they will
Apartment,
come and
give
do
them
what
the
they do.
address.
Now,
Yeah.
we have Tower checking on the sofa. There's nothing there. However, on the body, you see clasped in the hand that was shot off. Actually, oddly enough, you find this.
All right, Howard, I recommend, since you probably have the highest skill when it comes to the occult, I
Uh,
recommend you do an occult roll, and I'll assist you on it. Just my thought.
yeah, that would work. Oh, also grab the pendant and let's grab that Polaroid of the pendant.
No, do not grab the pendant. Use something to pick it up.
I'm
I have
going bare ass handed
Well,
grab that.
no,
okay.
hold on a second. Now, you keep doing this. Don't touch it. You know, let him make his roll first,
Okay, okay, okay.
and then he'll
It's fine.
know.
Oh my god. Okay, my occult level is a D8.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty high. So that's it's not mastery, but
Well,
it's you're a pretty solid occult student. So
so,
go ahead and make your roll for that then.
so
Which
D8 occult.
it turns it into a D10.
That's fine, and you still also have your abilities. So your mental should be
Yeah. Oh,
your
I'm gonna
mental.
add. I thought I was just doing the straight occult roll.
No, of
No,
course
you
you always roll. So mental, one of your stats, one of your distinctions, one of your skills, and an asset if you should happen to have something that's appropriate.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll a 2d8s mental and occult. So 2d8s, d6. Okay.
So I would suggest you bump the D6 up to a D8 for
Yeah,
the assist,
3d8.
So
and
Go
that'll
ahead.
put.
okay, 3d8. Yep. The screwball whiskey is delicious.
That's nice.
It's loading. I forgot you don't drink, Chester.
Very rarely.
If you ever get the chance, try Screwball. It's an American whiskey.
There we go.
It's like peanut butter. There you
Mm,
go. 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
No,
oh,
it's not a 9. It's a
Well,
7 with a D8 effect. You only take 2
I got
dice. Now you can spend a PowerPoint to add, but you only have 3 dice here. Therefore, I'm not even. I'm just taking the effect die and the 7. I'm not even going to bother to roll against it. You have no clue what this is, but you know you can pick it up though. You know it's not particular. It's not necessarily dangerous. It has a glow of some possessive magic to it, but that is gone. So you're able to pick this up and look at it closely. But you have no clue. You're going to have to find someone to help you understand what this is.
I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to go take those that Polaroid of it with a few of those blueprint drawings.
Just take the entire notebook.
Okay, I'm going to take the entire notebook, and I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag, and then put them inside of my coat.
Okay,
okay.
And I'm going to level it evidence, but I'm going to spell evidence wrong.
that's fair. That's as you should. Yeah. Okay, so the cleanup crew shows up very quickly because you're not far from home whatsoever. You guys, you do the normal paperwork, which lady usually does this, to be honest with you. You guys now you have this amulet. What are you gonna do? Jack is
Uh,
Okay.
useless. There's no information from him. He has no clue.
All right.
who's
So
our
there.
contact right now?
I'm sorry, Tara. I couldn't hear you breaking up.
Ooh. Who's our contact who might know anything?
I don't
Well, no,
know.
that's what he. Yeah, we
Maybe you
gotta.
have someone exactly perfect to talk to, who I introduced you to many times.
Got
Mhm.
their name because I'm British.
Well,
Contact
he's
HQ.
Irish.
There
Yeah.
you go. Oh God, I can't call him. I hate the Irish.
Oh God.
Like a British thing. You have to
Well,
call
at
him
least,
Chew.
oh my God. I call him and let him know what we found.
So
And it,
you give a call to Dr. O'Hare, and he says, "Well, bring it on over."
okay, but before we do that, we should probably check her apartment just to give it a peek, see if
Sure.
if there's
You and the
anything
cleanup
over
crew
there.
and all that stuff's going on, and yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, in the old lady's apartment is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
check the entire building. The cleanup crew certainly would. There's nothing.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Then we'll take this back to O'Hare.
Okay. So you go back to O'Hare. It's pretty late night. There's a lot of work you just did. But it's good 9 o'clock at night by the time you get back. You go over and see Dr. O'Hare, who is working on something, but waiting for you as well. And of course, the Dr. O'Hare is the Sanctorum boss here at the Boston, department here of Dove, and he's the guy in charge of all these kinds of things. So he's exactly the dude you talk to in this situation. You take him in, and he's Dr. O'Hare's very pleasant. He's a weird, ugly-looking fella, but he's a very nice guy. He's been in America, you don't know how long, but he has just the slightest twinge of an Irish accent. It's barely there. He sounds more American than anything. But nevertheless, he takes it and he says, curious, and he puts it down and he brings up all his takes it over to his magical microscopes and all those kind of things he has, and he's putting little spells, and this guy is a far more established wizard than you guys, of course, and he's doing all that kind of magical stuff, and it doesn't take him but 10 minutes, and he finally looks up and he says, this is a weird one. This is very weird.
Like, oh,
He says that this is the amulet of Grazier, and it's supposed to be at Holy Cross, safe and secure.
okay.
So he doesn't know why
Brazier.
it's not. Now, the Cathedral of the Holy Cross is a very famous cathedral in Boston, by the way. And just so you know, it's one of the more famous landmarks in Boston. And so the place he's talking about, obviously. But he is befuddled though, because this is supposed to be at the Holy Cross. Now you guys don't understand what the hell he's talking about. If there was some kind of dangerous magical item, why wasn't it being held here or somewhere
Oh.
else? So you don't really understand his point.
Couldn't you guys take care of all that sort of stuff?
No, usually we have a treaty. Do you not remember your lessons? Now, you guys remember vaguely that there was in ancient times, like 1,000 years ago, some treaty between various parties, and the church was involved in it. But he says that usually these kind of items are held by the local cathedrals. Matter of fact, most of the cathedrals were built for this very purpose. They have giant vaults under them. But this was an artifact that was, as far as he knows, supposed to be at the Holy Cross. But clearly it's not.
Ah,
Well, we still have a missing girl.
You do have
hey,
a
That,
missing girl. And he
yeah.
says that, hmm. Yeah, he says the amulet of Grazier is a very powerful talisman. It's very old, it's super old. Says that it's usually used for controlling demons.
in that notepad, that doodle pad that she had, those architectural things, would they happen to be for a cathedral by any?
He puts his hand out to take a look at it. He goes through, and he laughs and said, "Yeah, this is Holy Cross."
Oh,
So she helped steal the pendant, since
The
there's a picture of
amulet.
it as well. The amulet. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of how it is attached.
I explained to him basically what we saw there, what he thinks. Like, could that have been projection from somewhere else, or is she there in like a extra dimensional kind of capacity? I'm just kind of pick his brain to see, like, let him know what's gone on so far.
He doesn't
Because
know. He's not an expert of this particular amulet, but he imagines what happened was that the old lady died in her apartment, maybe of natural causes, and the amulet picked up on that and locked her in her body. So more than likely, the specter was simply searching for the amulet. Is what it's his guess. It's probably what happened. As far as what happened to the girl, he has no clue. There's nothing in the notebook to suggest any magical knowledge or anything like that. Although many of these drawings are layout blueprint layout plans of sections of Holy Cross.
That no one should really know, right?
Well, I mean,
I mean,
they are
so
public
it's
record, but there's nothing here secret, he says. But it's not something someone would normally have, and also have the amulet of Grazier.
well, it seems weird that if she was still at the place at the Holy Cross, how the amulet would have gotten to her room. But I feel like our only real lead at this point is Holy Cross, so we should probably go there next.
Mm.
I think we gotta have special permission to go there, though.
Well, you're
Uh,
talking to the people that can give you that permission.
yeah,
And no,
I
and besides, you don't need any permission. You are a Dove team lady.
Okay.
I'm trying to express this upon you. You go wherever the hell you want to go, and that's how it
I'm
works.
guessing. I'm guessing we can't keep the amulet. We're probably going to have to bring it back to them. So that's
But let's wait to make sure that, keep it here where it's safe,
Oh no, he
and
hands it
let's
right
go.
back to you. It says, "Take it back to
Oh,
Father Diaz."
yeah,
Father is.
yeah. Let's go head out there now. I think, unless you guys have any other questions.
No.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so you guys head over to Cathedral. It is pretty late. Would you like to? It's all right. The priest will be there anyway. They live there. So you head over to the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, and you go into the living quarter area, and you're able to rouse Father Diaz, who isn't sleeping yet anyway. But and he comes and to the door, and he says, "How may I help you this evening?" He's a rather young priest. He's probably 30s something. He is, of course, of Spanish persuasion.
Sure, I'm Agent Lyons with the DOJ. May we come in?
Is this Dove business?
It is.
Said, please.
All right. Go in. We find a private place to talk with him, and we basically explain the situation, what happened. Um, uh, are you aware that an item of yours was recently taken?
No, I am not.
Um,
Now,
I well, Tower, you still? I'm guessing I've got it. Are you familiar with this? And I show him the amulet.
He says in a very comical way, "Dios mío," and he grabs it from you. He says,
Uh,
"How did this get out?" And he immediately leaves and crosses the courtyard back toward the cathedral proper.
Um,
Halloween.
yeah, I follow him unless he
Okay.
tells me to.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. You guys are with Dove. But he goes in, he goes to the back to the rectory area, and he doesn't even care you're there. He presses a thing on the wall. It opens a secret door, which he heads down. And you guys go into an undercroft of the Cathedral of the Holy Cross. There are actual crofts in here as well. But he goes over to one particular, hits another rock on the wall, and it opens up a vault. And in this vault, there's not a huge number of things, but there's probably 100 items in here. Most of them are pretty small, but they're all stone shelves and stone altar tables and things like that. And he goes over and he checks around, and he says, "Okay, okay," he sets it down in a spot that was actually a dustly perfect outline of the amulet. By the way, he puts it back there. He says, "Okay, no, nothing else is missing. How did that get out of here? That doesn't make any sense. That is dangerous item."
All right, the girl's name is Lynn. Have you ever been in contact with the? I'm guessing we have a picture of her. That would make sense.
You do. You
Uh,
have ladies with you. She certainly would have copied the photo off of Luke's phone.
have you ever met this woman? Show him the picture.
Yeah, and of course, you guys show this picture of Lynn you have, and he's like, "Hmm, I think that's Jillian's girlfriend."
Jillian's girlfriend. Who's Jillian?
Jillian is one of our patrons. He sits down on one of the altars, actually, that has space to sit upon. And he kind of puts his hands in his face for a little while. He looks up at you and he says, "Jillian is one of our patrons. She's troubled. But he doesn't want to continue the conversation."
Please, how are they connected?
Can I do a persuasion?
You have a
Oh,
power that is like perfect for it.
I do, and I will use it while we're talking. But also
Kind of trying
persuasion.
to prompt you to do so.
I know, I know. I mean, I'll persuade him verbally, but I'll also use the power at the same time, just to cover all my bases.
Well, your
So,
persuasion would have to be it would be a monumental role because this information is going to break his career. So uh, you use your ability, and this guy has no magical ability, can't protect himself. So you spend your PowerPoint and you read his mind with your telepathy. Yeah, he's been banging Jillian for a few years now, and he knows Lynn really well, actually, because she's joined in at least twice. Because as far as he
uh,
knows, Lynn and Jillian are a lesbian couple, as far as he knows.
I say, look, your personal life is none of my business, and I can tell by the look on your face that there's more to this than I think. I don't personally care what. Uh, I'm not gonna go spilling your beans to the church, But you gotta come clean with this.
Do you have a last name for Jillian? I'm doing background checks on both of them at the same time.
No, he doesn't. Well, actually, he probably would. Yeah, whatever, Williams or something like that. I didn't really give him last names. But
Okay.
you're able to find on your information, lady, on Lynn.
Yes.
Like I said, she's just a college student. She's been working for a local architectural firm for a couple of years. No record, no nothing, nothing interesting at all, actually. Very simple, very plain.
Social media either, huh?
Well, yeah, but it's very normal. Lynn is nothing. There's no dirt on her. Jillian Williams, however, there's plenty. Jillian works at Diggs Bar. which is literally down the street. I mean, like 2 blocks away, right?
Mhm.
And she works at Diggs Bar. She's been there for a while. She's gotten a lot of little altercations with the cops. Nothing too serious, but little misdemeanor, vagrant, not vagrant, just juvenile crap, right? But she's something very, very interesting comes up about Jillian as you do in this search. She is one of you.
Mm,
She's British.
No, she's an umbral. And
Oh,
not she's not like some person that has a little spark and is can do magic. No, no, no. She's a tethered umbral. Matter of fact, she's part of what the Asians call a kitsune.
what's it now?
She's a fox woman.
Oh,
she's a foxy lady. Okay.
yeah.
Um. All right. I yeah. I'm. I can't get any other information out of him. Then let's. Oh, I asked if he can give out any addresses and any other information, not just for workplace, but
He just knows she works at Diggs down the street, which he
Okay.
goes to sometimes. And one thing that does interest you with your telepathy, because we haven't really established it in this world, but it's visually based, right? It's not texturally based. I obviously we can agree on that, right?
Uh, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, but people don't just think visually. People
no,
do think,
they do,
yeah.
but it is both. But it's mostly visual. And you know Jillian is what she is, right? But Lynn, that is a dirty dog, dude. I
Mm,
mean, that girl is wild because you're seeing his memory of their sex, right?
yeah.
And I mean, Jillian is, she's, kind of that kind of girl, but Lynn is, she'll do anything, dude. You're a bit shocked. I don't know what experiences your character particularly has, but you might have just seen shit you've never seen. That girl is way deep. The missing girl, right?
Yeah.
Ew.
My character's seen a lot of stuff in it. He's a bit older than the rest of these
He's
guys.
from Chicago.
True, and you're probably a little Noel. You're probably a lot disappointed in the father, actually.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa! Oh, I'm sorry, father, and I do the little thing on the chest there. Um.
Oh my god, damn it.
Okay. So anyway,
I'm sorry. God.
um. I go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Go find her. I
Well, it's the
suddenly
right
feel
time of night
dirty.
to find her.
Yeah. You enjoy yourself, Father. Keep yourself pure for the cause. I'm out of here. And
Oh my
Now,
god, damn it.
GOP, you, Lady Tower, I'm sure as you guys are walking out of this place, because there's really nothing more to do with the father, because GOP has all the information. But you guys are chatting with each other, and that vault is a rather important location, you think, and it's
mhm.
clearly been compromised. What would you like to do before you go down the street to Diggs Bar?
Inspect
Oh,
all.
you're right. We should inspect the vault first. You're
Well, no,
right.
no, no. That's not
But
what I'm talking about. I'm not talking
well,
about
we
that.
we should make sure that I mean there needs to be more security on that vault, anyways.
So, how would you like
But
to go about looking, doing? What would you like to do about it?
uh, I go back to the father. Before we go, father, you are aware that the whole vault thing is well, that secret's out. You know, I would suggest maybe figuring out what exactly happened down there. It might be an urgent thing, so get some of your brothers and
Uh,
sisters.
well, the person who said it last time, let me see. He goes in, and there's actually like a small, little. kind of shelf with some books on it. He looks and he says, "Yeah, that was set 130 years ago by a Lady Ninma."
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, boy. All right. Uh, I take that bit of mental information and yeah. Okay. I'm just like why am I surprised yet not surprised? Okay, I thank him for the information, and I go, yeah, you guys might want to take care of that like pronto.
He says that
Um,
he'll make the call immediately.
all right, I need to get on the call with call up HQ.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and get
Just
a
tap
hold of
your
Lady.
ear.
Who do you want to talk
Yeah.
to?
Well, I'm gonna try and get a call into Lady Ninma
All
because.
right. A secretary picks up and says that Lady Ninma is in meditation, whatever
Well, that
that
doesn't
means.
So this is one of those things that I'll have to resolve later. Okay.
Or not. You can do it right now if you want. It's up to you.
Well, let's go
Uh,
talk
It
to
is
them.
It is a
important.
safe.
Obviously,
It is
that
a
ball,
cell that has
who
I
to be
knows what's
checked,
in there,
right?
dude?
yeah. Okay, that's fine. Uh, yeah. Is it okay if it's kind of important? You know, if you could rouse her a little bit, if it's not too much trouble.
Very well.
Or
Couple.
well, we still have the teleporters, right? We could literally teleport
Well,
there
no,
right
because you
now.
haven't signature. You didn't signature out, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But a couple minutes, she comes back to the phone as you guys are standing outside the cathedral, and she says, "Lady Ninma will see you."
Oh, so we do have to go back to the thing. Okay. Um, that's fine. I guess we'll head
See,
over there
see?
first.
So where you got to go first? Back to HQ or to Diggs Bar?
I vote HQ just to
It-
get all these loose ends settled, and then we'll go to Dick's bar. It's a bar. It's going to be open late.
It will be, and it's only like 9:30 right now.
Yeah.
So 9:30, 9:40, something like that. So you guys head back to HQ. It's not far. I mean, we're right here in this heart of Boston. You're in back end area, right? And you head back to the HQ. You go to mission control, and they kind of direct you to where she is. You go to a part of the upper floors you've never been to before, and you go to where you're directed, and there's a door.
Okay. Not.
The door opens all on its own. You see a
Oh,
large room here. And it's even though it's in the building, it looks like you're in a cave. It looks like a cave. And you see Lady Nima sitting in the middle of the cave, just kind of thinking to herself with a gigantic white snake.
oh. Yeah, I had one of those once. Lost it in the Everglades. Okay. Um. I walk over. Hey, boss. Quick question
The
for you.
snake eyes you up, by the way.
I keep my distance from the snake.
Now,
Uh.
now that you're in the room, let me describe it a little bit. She's sitting on steps. There's an altar behind her. This is weird. This room is bigger than it should be. And there
Mhm.
is, as you can see in the back of the picture, there is a stone carved snake that is running all along the walls here. It's not a real snake. It's a stone one. The snake here is very large, but it's not that big. So go ahead.
When was the last time you've been to Holy Cross?
She looks up at you and takes a bite of her apple, and she says, "At least a century ago."
Uh, I'm going to divulge the details of what we've discovered so far and kind of see if I can measure any change in her reaction, although probably won't. Because, yeah.
Yeah, she does. She's like an emotional, almost like a robot. the way she speaks, right?
Mhm.
She has no emotion. Matter of fact, if she smiled or frowned or anything, it would freak you out,
Yeah,
right?
I assume.
She's. You mentioned the amulet of Grozier, and she's like, Nix.
Nyx,
He's
like,
obsessed with it. He's been trying to get it for centuries.
hmm. Can you tell me anything about this guy?
And that's your job.
We
Oh,
found this thing on some dead lady that came alive from an apartment building.
They all die.
you
Well,
ever
this one
hear of
died twice because we shot its dang face in.
you ever
Hey,
hear of
first chuckle out of her.
okay. You ever hear of anyone named Jillian? What's her last name? I didn't write it down. Is it
Williams.
Williams? You ever hear of a Jillian Williams?
She looks at you with that blank stare and doesn't answer.
Okay then. Well, thank you very much for your time. Uh, you have a nice day with your snake.
And you
Uh,
might want to go reinforce the
yeah,
cannon on the vault.
because it yeah. Well, she would know. I would have basically
Well, no,
that
she
part.
answers, lady. She says that I'll do my job. You do yours. Good luck, by the way. Nix is a real piece of work.
Uh, okay. As we're leaving, I go, hey, maybe we should figure out who that next person is.
I'm on it.
I think we should stop and get burritos, guys.
Maybe
Oh,
later.
Well, we'd have time to think at a diner inn or diner
Well,
I,
express.
you guys have another location you need to go to.
yes, we
Okay,
do. And that's what we're
copy.
heading.
And Diggs is actually quite famous for its hamburgers.
Perfect. To
sorry,
have a
no
diner
burritos. Looks
express.
like it's gonna be burritos, hamburgers.
Yeah, he just wants a Diner Express. I know. Yeah. So what are
All
you
right,
guys doing?
we're heading over to Diggs.
All right. You guys
Um,
go. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I'm saying, while we're doing that, lady, look up any, yeah, well, like we already went over that. Never mind. Just
Yeah,
whatever
she already
information you
told
can
me
find
she's
about
doing
any of
that.
these
Yeah,
people.
she's already told me.
Yeah, yeah.
With Nick's lady, you're able. There is a bunch of information. This guy was a Catholic priest in Milan, and when he was still human, about nearly 1,000 years ago. And there's a lot of information. This guy is a real bad deal. He's constantly, he mainly, you're just kind of too, there's so much information that for your ride over to Diggs, you don't have enough time to go through all of it. But the general gist of what you're getting is this guy is effectively a magical relic salesman. That's what he does. He acquires objects for people in any way possible.
Okay.
Okay.
And he is a demon, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you guys get to Diggs. And when you get into Diggs, of course, you're looking around for Jillian. And, she's not hard to find. She works here. She's basically a barmaid, a wench of type. And this place is pretty popular. It's packed. Like I said, it's a popular destination in Boston. It's always full. Of course, it's got a pool table and some foosball. It's got a little foosball arcade room in the back. And even though it is called Diggs Bar and there's a lot of drinking going on here, they do serve a pretty complete menu, actually. It's sandwiches and stuff, hamburgers. They're actually quite famous for. But you find her toward the back area. And now, because you guys are umbral, you don't have to ask where is Jillian because you can see her. Because you guys are umbrals, you can see each other. A lot of umbrals, even just the sparked, not tethered one, just sparks, they will often carry some taint from the umbra, and it displays on their body in some way. And they'll wear some kind of jewelry or bracelet or tattoo or something that hides them from the public. But these are very minor magics, and an umbral can see an umbral unless you're spending a lot of money on some very serious artifact to hide yourself. And of course, who's going to spend that kind of money? So you see her. She's in the back. She's a stunningly sexy woman, redhead, and she's got pointy ears. She kind of stands out. You guys see the picture?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we see the picture.
So what do you want to do?
Then let's go have a chat. That's what we're here for.
All right.
So
So you head up toward Jillian, and she's literally just dropped off a tray of draft beer.
I hate to bother you while you're working, ma'am, but you have a minute? I show her the badge.
She kind of lowers her voice a little bit. Dove, I'm assuming.
I give her a little smirk.
Well, all my papers are up to date. And she starts moving toward the back room. You're assuming to get her purse or something to show you her identification.
Uh, it's a different matter than that sort of thing.
Well, what? I like I said, I'm completely legal. I have all my licenses. I haven't done anything.
Can we speak somewhere private?
Fine. She just steps out the back door into the back alley.
Uh,
Oh,
ma'am,
that's not,
are you familiar with a Lynn? What is her last name again? Darn it, I forgot to
I
write that
didn't
down.
tell. I didn't tell you. Lynn Blake.
Okay.
I didn't really give them last names.
Well, I would just assume I wouldn't just say Lynn.
Lynn
That,
Blake. Lynn Blake. Yeah.
uh, are you familiar with the Miss Lynn Blake?
Why would I be? What are you talking about?
How about this? Are you familiar with a Father Diaz?
Do I look like a person who hangs out in churches?
Well, I've seen crazier things in my day. You know, there's this, and I'm looking to see if there's any reaction when I say this. You see, the strangest thing, Lynn's gone missing.
Okay. Let's see. She doesn't have any actual kind of social skills per se. Her skills are more, well, not that. So she does kind of get this bit of fright in her face for half a second. Yeah.
Look, we know that you know Lynn and Father Diaz. All right, and we know that
Fine.
Lynn's got herself in a bit of trouble.
It's not my fault. It was her idea.
Well, maybe you can help us with this whole order. If it's not your fault, there's no reason why you shouldn't give us a hand here.
Is this going to affect my record? Now, lady, you probably just laughed. She's got a long record, not only with the local police, which you guys could give a shit about, but she has a record with Dove. She's always getting into some very low level nonsense. She's just an idiot that's always getting in with the wrong people. This is the information you have on Jillian Williams. So her saying, that's dumb because she's like a career criminal.
Mhm. It's not going to hit you any harder than anything else. I mean, depending on what state we find Jillian in. We're just trying to find her, trying to get this handled.
Look, I
You
told
know,
her not to mess with Paul's. I told her not to. It's not it's really not my fault. It's she's just really good, and she starts getting into talking about Lynn's sexual capabilities. But it's not my fault.
why don't you just go over the details with us? All right, we're not here to cast blame. We just want to figure out what's going on.
Well, she ran into Lynn less than 2 years ago. I was doing a job. We were moving some old gold, and I suppose it had some jewelry. It had some kind of something on it, whatever. We were just moving it, and she was, with the other side, and she gave me that look. What am I supposed to do? Mm.
Uh,
But we started hooking up, as you do, and going along, and she was really interested in our stuff, magic and the underworld and umbral things, I told her some stuff maybe, but anyway, and she was really really interested, and then all of a sudden, she really 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 wanted to go meet this father at the Holy Cross. I forget why.
hmm.
Well, whatever.
So there was no talk of any items, and any sort of amulets, perhaps.
Yeah, I had nothing to do that. That was Mr. Paul's. He wanted us to get started. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I don't. That's no, that's criminal. But Lynn, she was like, oh no, we can make money and all that stuff, and we already knew where it was. Kinda, we just had to find out. And that father was wonderful, by the way. But she kind of smiles at the thought of him. But I told her not to get involved with Mr. Paul's. It's not my fault.
Okay, so you do know the details then, clearly, because you were there when
I
she
was
decided
not
to go
there.
do this. Well, you were there when she decided, when the offer was made. So clearly, like, the the gist of what was offered and what was being requested.
Mr. Paul's is a very scary man.
I'm sure he is. What can you tell me about Mr. Pauls? You know where to find him?
Everyone knows where to find Mr. Paul's. She kind of looked at you befuddled.
Hmm.
Now, you guys haven't been in Boston really very long, actually. Your training was not in Boston. You've been here a few months, obviously settling in and stuff, but you were not trained in Boston per se. You were trained in the general training aspect of this world. So you actually don't know Boston that well. Are any of you actually from Boston? Probably not, right?
No.
And even if you were, you weren't here as an umbral. You were here
Yeah.
as a human. So you don't know much. But I know Lady's doing her thing. So, Lady, are you looking up Mr. Paul's?
Well, I figure I'm asking our human contact, our handler, whatever his name is.
You have
Forgot. I'm
no
sorry.
handler, no human contact. You are the contact.
She calls herself.
No.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm trying to express this concept to you, lady, that there are no handlers, there are no contacts, there are no emergency
Okay. Okay.
buttons. This is you.
Under the name of Nick, there was a bunch of information.
Mr.
Was any of his
Pauls.
alias? Was
No,
any of
you don't
them?
see any
A,
information on that. No.
no alias is a Paul. Okay, Mr. Paul.
Mr.
Searching, searching.
John Pauls does show up on your search, though, because remember, you are connected to the Bureau's network, right?
Yeah.
So Mr. John Pauls does come up. He is in Boston. He lives at 7 Orchard Street. He owns the entire block, as far as what you can tell, and he is definitely attached to the underworld. From looking at the information, you don't know exactly how, but he is attached, and he is suspected in several dozen crimes, both
I mean,
human
underworld
and
is not
an
just
umbral.
criminal; it is umbral, right?
Some of it, yeah.
It
But
is
nothing's
umbral
ever
from.
been able to be stuck on him. Nothing. He's never even been arrested. But he is a known element in Boston. And you even see a picture of him. He's kind of this plain looking dude. He looks like a John.
He looks like a John.
Have another
Well, I
shot.
mean,
No, that's not a shot, actually. I was getting over a cold and my window's open, and I got a bitter cold hit of that Illinois air right now.
Oh, nice.
That's fucking
That's
10
nice.
degrees, so lost my breath because my room's 80 degrees.
So what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to take a cough drop real quick.
yeah, I'll get any information, like all the information on the meeting that she'll give me, essentially. But then,
Well, to be fair,
uh,
she doesn't really know much when you get down to it. Mr.
yeah,
Paul's, they were summoned. So she doesn't know why, but they were summoned to, and she gives you an address, lady, same one you just saw, 7 Orchard Street,
okay.
or
Well, I
Orchard
guess
Street,
with
sorry, Orchard Street. And that Mr. Paul's made his offer. He wanted very specifically this amulet of Xenophia, something, some Z thing.
it was no Grazier.
Oh, Grazier, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Amulet of Grazier. And he wanted us to get it from him, and he knew that we were, you know, playing around with the father. He enlisted. I said no, no way, sir. But Lynn was interested. Now, have you spent a PowerPoint to engage your telepathy at all in this situation?
Yeah, I should. Yeah, Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying you have PowerPoints, just use them, dude. You get them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lying through her goddamn teeth, dude. She's 100% involved. She's the one that told Lynn about it because Lynn wanted to go to the Holy Cross because she had somehow found out that a lot of artifacts. She doesn't know how that happened, but a lot of magical artifacts are kept there, and it would be cool if they get a hold of it. That's why they were messing around with the father. Anyway, she thought when they were talking that Mr. Pauls might be interested, so that she took him to her Lynn to go see Mr. Paul's, and then she actually did back out of it though because Mr. Paul's actually did scare the shit out of her, and she backed up and said, "No, we really shouldn't do this. Really shouldn't do this." But Lynn was in for it, and she hadn't seen Lynn in a week actually, and she is very worried because she actually rather likes Lynn. It's not just carnal. That's the truth. And you even see an image of Mr. Paul's, by the way. I can show it to you if you like.
Sure. But that's
That's a.
Nick's though, is it?
Mhm.
You see no reference to him
Oh,
or Nick's, no. But
yeah.
very normal looking guy, kind of does look like a John.
Yeah.
Look. Okay. When I see her thinking about this, did she take anything else besides that amulet from that
She doesn't
place?
know. She actually didn't go. She didn't. Because this guy, and because you took images out, and lady was kind of giving her information. You're kind of going flipping through her brain. You spent the PowerPoint, might as well get the use out of it. And at this place, right here that you're seeing in this image. It's a very old building, right? Sat in Boston, but and it's you can tell, but all of you. Lady brings up the picture because you have the address. This is
Mhm.
a very magic building. You're not even standing in front of it, and you can tell, right? There's a lot of magical, construction going on here. But on the inside, you notice that. You can't tell what he does business wise because she literally brought an opportunity to him, right? But in this building, as you're walking around, there is a lot of illicit and illegal drug use, and there you're not sure, but you think it's just full on prostitution going on in there as well. There are a lot of people having sex in little rooms because you're just getting information, and she doesn't really know, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of that going on, and Mr. Pauls talked, which didn't take hardly any effort, by the way, Lynn into going and have a little fun together, because Lynn is absolutely out of her mind, a nymphomaniac. And Jillian was like, why not join in, right? So these were in a room having sex with many other people. There's actually an orgy going on in the room, and and whilst laying into her, Mr. Pauls gave Jillian a look that froze her spine, dude. You can see the look, and it even scares you. It was just this hunger in his eyes, and it's really, really scared her. And she got out of there as quick as she could, and she would have nothing to do with it. But Lynn, carried on.
Okay.
I need a break
Oh,
I
sorry. Yeah, go
for
ahead.
personal business.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
need a
oh,
break for personal business. Okay.
Okay, guys.
all right.
So, what do you want to do?
Um.
We're in Diggs Bar.
Okay. While after I'm perusing through Jillian's brain as she's blatantly lying to me.
Oh, she's
I
just lying. Yeah, she's not a
Oh
very,
yeah.
but she kind of could tell, right? She's not a very good liar. She doesn't have the skills she needs to be what she is. I mean, she's a petty criminal, right? But she's really not skilled enough to be that.
I, yeah. I go. Look, you seem like a nice person, so let me
Does
lay this
she?
down straight for you. If I ever see or hear of you going back to that church ever again, I'm gonna arrest you myself, and you're gonna be going in a very dark hole for a very long time.
Oh, I promise I would never do anything like I never.
I'm I'm just gonna do a basically a social intimidation role on her.
Oh yeah, well,
So
it's an easy roll. Let me go ahead and yeah, no, go ahead, make your roll.
just kill a little time while. Okay, so it's a 12, 2d10s, a d8, and a d6. Because I've got my let's see. I've got my signature asset, my pungent cologne, Sex Panther,
Hmm.
which befuddles and confuses other people as I talk to them.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So let's see. I'll do my roll on that. So yeah,
Oh, are you gonna do a double
10.
squirt?
Huh?
Are you gonna step it up where you do two squirts?
Can I what? Sorry, you're like coming in really.
Are you gonna step it up where you do two squirts of it and make it extra potent?
I
Got it.
could do that, but yeah, no, I'm gonna stick with the one spritz. I'm not gonna do my extra spritz special effect on it. So D12 to D10, D8, and D6. Okay, let me pull that up. D12 to D10, D8, and a D6. Okay, that's not the. I'll do the D12 and the D10. So I'll do a 16 and then a D10 effect.
Oh, nice. Very, very strong. And what were your rolling to persuade her? And you got the telepathy is still in effect for the scene, right?
Oh yeah.
And you know it didn't. You didn't even need it. She actually is very, very bothered by the whole situation. She's happy to never go back to that cathedral ever again because that in that one moment with catching eye with Mr. Paul's, and you know, because this woman has slept with a lot of people. She's a full-on slut, right? Being a happy one, right? You know, a blazing whore. But
Roger the blown roast beef.
I'm just saying, right? So this is not a person who's, you know, shy. But that moment, especially with that look and him literally being in her, right? She feels violated and dirty and terrified. It really really bothered her, dude. It seriously scarred her. That just that look he had, she didn't understand it. But yeah, so you can tell that that's an easy thing for her not to do, right?
Okay. Cool. She wasn't. You didn't have her roll to contest it at all. All
Mm-mm,
right.
no
Okay.
need. I guess I'll make a roll just so you might get in case you get any ones. So, yeah, sure.
Or if I can get a hero dice.
Oh, right. No,
Because
no, no. Yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
that was a pretty good.
Alrighty. So, once again, yeah. So you do get a PowerPoint off of it, and I rolled an 11. What was your score?
16.
16. So, yep, you get a hero dice out of it.
Okay. Cool.
Yep, nice.
Nice.
Very nice. You also get a PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yep. Alrighty. What are you guys doing? You have
Let's go
spoken to
speak to
Lady
the dead.
Nidma, even though she's very dismissive and she has been given a high position of authority. So you're assuming she is handling the vault at the Holy Cross. You know, you're sure she's a professional. She's just creepy. So that's kind of
Mm.
locked up. You know where the problem potentially lies. So what do you want to do?
Solved.
Let's.
Can we
Yeah. Let's.
verify if Mr. Paul is Nick?
No, we already went over this. Like even if he is, doesn't look like him or anything, right? There's no means of
We don't have a
verification.
You have no
Oh
points
yeah,
that connect you to it other than the interest in
yeah,
the amulet. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well then let's just let's head over there. I mean, I know this guy's messy, but I don't think he's gonna. He's probably gonna be more standoffish than
Well,
try and
he's
start something.
with the information that she has on John Paul's, he's kind of a you almost want to qualify him as a petty criminal, but he's a little broader, a little bigger than that. But there's no distinctions of him being extremely murderous or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, she got a horrible vibe from him,
She
and
got
I
something
still,
really scary off of him, yeah. And you saw the look, and it was
yeah.
something wrong about it because your telepathy lets you see it. But anyway, so you guys head over seven or Orchard Street, Orchard Street. Now it is late now. We're past 10 o'clock. This
The
is
place should be
on.
rolling then.
It probably is, yeah. This is on the other side of the city. It's over near Orange, the west side of Boston. So it takes you drive over there, no problem. You once again, now that you're standing in front of this building, you can see it because you saw a photograph. Now you can see it with your own eyes, dude. This building. Now, as you guys move around Boston, there are magical buildings, and because you're Umbral, you can see the magic. Like I said, to hide magic from an Umbral, you have to spend a lot of money, right? It can be done, but you have to spend a lot of money. And seeing as mainly they're only concerned about hiding it from the mundanes anyway. You do see magical buildings. Your headquarters is highly magical, right? But this frickin' building is lit up, dude. This is a serious magical building. So whoever owns it is not hiding anything because you certainly can't hide it. But to be fair, you guys probably haven't been over in this area. This is a little bit out of your way, and especially you're not from Boston. Anyway, it is highly magical. There's a front door, and it's a big old huge iron bound door with a slot in it.
Did do title searches as well, I guess.
Can I stick my finger in the hole?
Oh my god!
Um, yeah,
Can I knock on the door like a normal person?
you can. I don't know what Tower's doing. Lady, you're going through title searches and stuff like that. Good luck.
You
Does it
said you
say who?
Yeah, I bet you if you put your character to it and you made the rolls over the course of a month, you probably could figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that leads me nowhere. Okay.
Yeah, but it's shell company after shell company. Yeah, you don't know. But my point is now that you're standing in front of it, there's no way Dove doesn't know about this building. There's no way the council, because keep in mind the council is in charge of magical affairs in this city. They're not associated with Dove per se directly, right? So there's no way that everyone in this town doesn't know this building is here. It's impossible. It's lit up. It is highly, highly magical building. But just off the top of your head, just kind of checking through and looking, it's not going to be easy to find out the ownership of this. Anyway, you knock on the door, GOP. And sure enough, the door opens and you see two eyes that are way too big and broad to barely fill within the slot. Whatever's looking at you is not human.
I, I go, pardon me, but I need to have a little chat with Mr. Pauls.
Mr. Paulzanian.
I knock again, and this time when he opens up, I'll have my badge right right in front of the hole where he's looking through.
I said Mr. Paulzanian, Mr. Detective Man.
Oh, where is he? Kind of have some business that we need to discuss.
I don't know where Boss Man is. My job, door.
What time did Boss Man leave?
Das don't know.
I'm doing the mental thing on him.
Okay, this is a troll.
Mm.
Now, trolls in this
His
world,
job
like I
is the
said,
door.
everything is human, and there are many different ways for you to attach a soul back to a human body. And there's been many factions and many magical spells. Probably thousands have been forgotten. But there is one organization long ago that did that. For some reason, people still use this magic, even though it's incredibly inferior, because it does not match the soul to the body well. It's really shouldn't. No one should be using it, but it is what it is, and that creates a troll. And because the magic and the umbral magic coming through is so poorly controlled, they have no magical ability themselves, but their bodies are incredibly bloated and magically infused. But they also aren't very smart by default. It's troll.
Yeah, I
Therefore, there's
figured.
not much going on. He is 14 years old. You have no
Mm.
idea how old the body or the person was because that memory is gone. And he's 14, and he has worked for Mr. Paul's for 10 of that. He was sold by a very nice man by the name of Alhir O. A. Di Jimakabakaba Mohammeda. That's
Can
how
you
he remembers it anyway. And he's
platform
very
me?
happy. His job is to watch the door and break the things that need breaking.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to figure out if his boss actually told him that if his boss is actually here or not.
Oh no, the boss said he was going out, and you can tell by his memory. You're kind of looking through. Oh, a clock, which you don't think he can read. His name is Doss, by the way. Um,
Does he
and
have a hunchback?
You haven't seen him. All you see is these gigantic eyes looking back at you. You see there was a clock. Looks like around 3 something. Could be a 4 something.
Clock that says 3 something or 4 something?
Well, you can't see it very clearly, and it was very quick. It's either a 3 or a 4. It's somewhere in that region of the clock. It's a handed clock, not a digital clock.
Yeah. Okay.
So late
Um.
afternoon.
Oh, so the clock is like stuck on that number?
No, it's at a distance, and his eyes saw it because you're picking through his memory, and because it was today, it's quite fresh.
Oh.
It is just at the back of the room. You can't see it clearly because your point of
Okay, my
reference
bad.
is his point of reference, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right.
That's why
My
I'm
bad.
saying I want your telepathy to be more visual based.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
that's fine. All right, and the boss didn't say what time he'd be back or anything like that.
Why
Okay.
would he tell Doss anything? Doss's job
Yeah.
literally is to watch the door and break the shit that needs breaking.
Look, is there anybody else in this establishment who represents Mr. Pauls? I have something that he would very much like to hear about. If
Mm,
you
mm.
got if you facilitated
There's sexy
that's probably
lady.
sexy lady. What about her?
She usually in charge when Mr. Paul's not here. Sexy lady's very nice. Sometimes she plays with us.
Oh, well, she sounds like a very wonderful person.
She is.
Uh,
She's a nice lady. You want
I
to
would
talk to
love,
sexy lady?
I would love to.
He's like, all right. And he closes the latch and opens the door. He's a frickin' troll, right? No horns, but the body is bloated. It is an off greenish gray color. You don't know how that happened, but he's fully clothed. He's actually well dressed. He's not in a suit, but he's put together. He's a uniform, you'd assume, and he is hunchbacked tower, and he hunches over to stand in the hallway. And this is the old Victorian style, so this is you know good 10 feet plus ceiling here, right? But he's a big fella. And but he's quite friendly, and he unless you're something he needs to break, I suppose. But he goes over to an old-fashioned gilded elevator or lift, and he escorts you in. He makes sure he locks the door. He even has to go back and check it just to make sure he doesn't screw it up because Mr. Paul gets very angry. And Your telepathy is going on here, and you notice something very odd as because you're just kind of paying attention. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
No, GOP.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I am.
because it's your power. You've been training it for a decade, and it stays on for the scene, so it'll be here for this whole scene. And You notice that every time you're just kind of going through his, and you're looking just today when he was talked to Mr. Pauls directly. You can't see Mr. Paul's face. It's blurred every time
Mm.
you start digging deeper and looking. You can't see his face. You have a picture of Mr. Paul's I just showed you, but Doss, you're guessing, has no idea what Mr. Paul's looks like because it's blurred. Nevertheless, you get into the elevator and he takes you up, which doesn't make any sense. 10 floors. Yeah, this is a highly magical
Oh,
building.
yeah.
Anyway, He comes out into a gigantic. It's actually you think you're at the top floor here, because there's a big skylight behind you. Light the night, starry night is coming in, or what you can see in the city. There's all kind of people milling around, and this is kind of an old-fashioned brothel, right? You got a bar, there's a madam moving around and he's heading her direction, by the way. There's well-to-do people all about. There's whores everywhere. It's like your old image of a kind of 20s swing, roaring 20s brothel is what it kind of feels like, looks like. And you follow Doss, and he takes you across the room, and he goes right to that lady who looks like she's in charge, and she's a bit older. She's a bit older. She's probably in her 40s, but she's still a looker. She's not bad looking. And Doss come up and he says, "We have detective men here want to talk to sexy lady." And she kind of looks at Doss a little bit sideways, and then looks at you and smiles. "Oh, it's very happy to have you here. May I see some identification, please?"
I show her the badge.
Yes. And of course, she can see you. You're umbral as well, so she knows that all three of you are somehow tethered, right? And that's why, by the way, people keep saying Dove. Is this Dove? Because they're all umbral. So
Yeah,
they know you know each other, and she's Umbral as well. Although it's a much more it's one of the better ones. A lot of the ones that because your connection was well, it was through a demon thing too, but a lot of it is through organizations that create well, in a way, a demon, right? But some of them are way better than others. DOS is a primitive form of it that should not be being used anymore, and the only people that do it are people who want slaves, and it should be
hmm.
illegal as far as you're concerned. Well, maybe not. This lady's is way better because she looks perfectly human, but she's clearly an umbral. And I don't mean and she's not spark, she's tethered. So it's a second tethered umbral you've seen tonight, right?
That's
Uh,
a very magical city.
it is. Boston particularly is. Now, Jillian is not powerful at all. This lady, she got a little bit more push going on, right? And of course, because your telepathy is going on, I'm assuming you automatically just try to skim the surface, right?
Sure.
Yeah, nothing. You would have
Nothing.
to actually take an action to push it. She has some men or shields up. Now, you don't know how strong they are. You'd have to make an attack, really. But it's not like most people. She actually is mentally trained.
Well, I'm not going to start a fight or risk starting a fight in this
Yeah,
place.
I'm just telling the situation. So
Yeah,
she says, "Well, Mr. Dove agent, we're happy to help. What can we do for you?"
you have an office.
I do. And as she goes along, she says that she introduced herself as Madam Bethany. And she takes you into an office just off to the side, actually. Like I said, this is kind of a standard brothel. It's very nice. Everything in here, now, even from the entrance and the building itself, is very 20s. It's very 20s. It's like it's been frozen in the 20s, actually. And you go in this nice little office, and you see some pictures on the wall, and one of the pictures is of Mr. Paul's, and it's a painting, actually, not a photograph. And she sits down at the desk, but not behind it. And so she's kind of sitting on the side and has kind of motions for you to sit in front of it. So she won't sit in the big boss seat. She'll sit on the side of it. And she's like, "Well, please, I'm here to help."
Ma'am, are you familiar with this woman? And
You show a
I'll
picture of Lynn.
yeah, and I'm gonna judge. I'm just watching her face, see if I notice any.
I am. And she says that we don't want any trouble. The young lady came and she's been working with us freely of her own will. Would you like to speak to her?
Oh, I would love to. And just just saying, we're not here to give you or your boss any trouble in particular. We're just trying to figure out something going on with the young lady.
Oh, that's fine. Like I said, we're very happy to help. Of course, we're always willing to help the council. She picks up the old-fashioned phone that's sitting there, and she's obviously got through to an operator, oddly enough, and because she didn't touch anything, she just picks up, puts it to her ear, and she begins speaking, and she says, "Yes, please send in Miss Blake." Yes, no, well, she kind of puts her hand over the receiver. She's a bit occupied. Would you like to wait, or I'll bring her in if you'd like.
I mean, how much time she got left on the clock? We can wait a few minutes.
She says, she asks that question, and she says, "Oh, probably about 30."
Eh, that's fine. Um, and I'll just make small talk about asking, just kind of about the building and about the establishment, not going too in depth,
Right, and
but
she's happy to talk about it. She offers you a drink, pretty good whiskey, by the way, if you
I
take it.
give
Um,
the troll a candy cane.
Okay, you give
To eat.
candy cane to the troll, and Doss
Yeah,
actually is very nice. He is a weapon though, but
yeah, I know.
he's a simple-minded. He's a simpleton, but he is very sweet, and he is in here, by the way. And what are you doing, Tower?
I'm following GOP.
Well, you guys are, so you're just in the office, and you make small talk, and like she does offer you some refreshment if you'd like.
Is
Um,
it tea?
Sure, absolutely. And she actually picks up the phone again, and you have another young lady come in. This one's a blonde, and you ask for tea and whatever everyone else asks. She is very happy to get it for you. She is dressed in a full lingerie with stockings and the little garter belt straps as well, while she serves you. But
At
yeah,
that.
what, Tower?
I have my character very obnoxiously stare, like very noticeably just stare at her.
She smiles back at you. She is a professional. Seeing you staring, though, the lady does take off, open a little case on the desk, and pulls out three business cards and hands one to each of you. And it says the Orchard Lounge. It's a very fancy card, by the way. It's black with gold filigree all over it. And on the back, it has the address, which you already know, and it has a phone number, and it also has one free night written on it.
look over
Uh,
at I look over at Jacob and I'm like, just remember, buddy, we're working right now. Keep it in your pants.
She laughs at
And
that. But in general, whilst you guys wait, which isn't very long, she's very pleasant lady. She's very professional, right? She's very charismatic. She's kind of like senator's wife type of charismatic, right? But very nice
Yeah.
lady, and she was very open and helpful. She doesn't seem to be interested in hiding anything, as far as you know. Like I said, your telepathy is still in effect for the whole scene. You could push it if you want, but that is an attack. So
yeah, I'm not. I don't think it'd be the smartest thing for me to do in this situation to potentially risk getting into a confrontation. We've got everything pretty cordial right now.
here's the
You
question,
know.
though, because you've made the right choice. Matter of fact, for GOP's sensible take, everyone take an XP. The Yeah, because who's here's the question for you, GOP: who's more dangerous, Doss or her?
Yeah, I like I said, it the risk is far outweighing the any potential reward
Yeah. No,
in
no,
this
no.
scenario.
It's working out just fine. Now, the time passes, and it passes very quickly because she's a great conversationalist. And Madam Bethany is. Sure enough, the door opens, and there's another young man in a similar uniform to Doss that opens the door and kind of ushers her in, and in comes walking Lynn. She is a bit disheveled, but she's in full working girl gear, you know and she's a bit miffed that she's been bothered. And she's like, "Yes, ma'am, I am busy." And Madam Bethany
Ah,
says, these people from Dove are interested in speaking to you.
well,
Yes.
it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Miss Blake. Uh,
Um, a pleasure. How can I help you?
well, see, we've been doing a lot of running around trying to find you tonight.
Why?
Well, you see, there's some strange things going on
Give me a
back
defense,
at
psychic defense roll.
oh me, okay.
Everybody.
Oh,
Everybody.
Ooh.
all right.
So how do we roll psychic dividend?
Well,
Mental?
more than likely, you're not going to have much to roll. GOP is probably the only one. However, let me bring up the dice. So I asked for it, so I'll roll first. I'll use my Doom pool for the first time tonight. So let me just do this. It's pretty strong, actually. I'll make my roll. Oh wow! So 2 1s are on the table. Damn it! And it's quite low actually. I got a 9 with a 6 effect die. But now I probably beat you in tower, but hopefully I won't beat GOP. There are 2 1s on the table though, so we'll see how you guys use that. What happens with that? However. This is what you're going to do. GOP, I'm sure, has special dice, but you're going to take your mental, of course. You got to take any
Mhm.
distinction you think would apply to helping you fight an occult mind attack, which everybody should have.
Right.
Everyone to Tower, do you have something that says occult something or another? I'm sure you do.
My occult itself
No,
is
distinctions. Yeah, distinction.
okay.
Do
My
you have
distinct would be magical lineage.
Okay, we'll go with that. Sure, we'll go with that. So mental, magical lineage, and then your occult skill, unless you have something specific, which GOP might, and of course any assets, which I doubt you have.
Would be
Lady, so take your mental, lady, and your distinction that applies. Which one of those is your umbral distinction?
Under mental. Under yeah.
Yeah, but what? Read it off to me. What is the distinction?
Grim, umbral, and hacker. That's distinct
Okay,
for
that's
mental.
fine. Yeah. So roll that roll that with your mental and then your occult skill. GOP, do you have anything special beyond that that you can use?
who got the two ones? Who were those for? Was that everybody got
No,
something
no,
from
this
them?
is only
Or
you. Yeah, this is just you.
okay, I'm gonna spend the two ones to give us all because I have my mental energy going. Everyone gets a psychic defense, I guess, for this scene. If I can do that.
So you're using yourself as a D6 die. So everyone add a D6 to your roll, please.
All right. Now
oh,
I just gotta
can do that.
8, 1, 2.
Well, your roll is already better than mine without adding anything, Tower. Of course, you could
Okay.
roll even better. I don't think so.
I just do the same thing. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
Tower's having troubles. You didn't have to do any of that stuff. So 15 and that's fine. So it's actually very similar. So hold on a second. Tower. I rolled my roll was an 8. You rolled a 15. So you take a hero dice, and that hero dice is on the effect, which would be a d6. So you take a d6 hero dice. Okay?
All right.
And
Oh,
lady, yeah, thank you for the D6.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, you
All right.
failed. You failed. But I expected you would. GOP,
Okay, I'm about to. I got a D8 and 4D6.
yeah, no, I imagine you have more dice, yeah. Ooh,
Oh, oh, that is
wow,
horrible.
wow,
All right. So what?
wow. So
Yeah,
wow, you just
3-1.
made the last fight
That beats mine,
difficult,
doesn't it?
dude.
the only
yeah.
question I
I do have a hero dice though.
As I'll say, how do I use my hero dice effectively? Because I have a shit ton of them now.
Yeah, no, well, you can add them after a roll anytime you like. So you should use it when you fail something, right? This
Okay.
game gives you resources. You should burn them. You should use them. This,
I
I know
wanted
we're kind of accustomed to holding on to PowerPoints and holding on to stuff. I get that. This game is different though. Just burn them. If you fail a roll, throw a hero dice on it and see if you succeed. I mean,
I
just use
got
it.
you. I figure out how to effectively use it because I
Yeah,
have
when you
like
fail, you
all
can take
the
a hero
eight
dice and roll it. See if you can not
sites
fail.
and I
Yeah.
have
and
PowerPoints.
and it's after the fact too, Tower. So say you take a hurry die and you roll it, and it's like, ah, still missed by one. Well, roll another one. It works
Okay.
like that. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. GOP, I wouldn't get into too much suffrage, because this is what happens. All right, as you're sitting there talking, you all have a mental effect that has been put onto you, but it was done poorly, right? Um, and you note the reason you notice it is because Lynn, because Tower succeeded, and so that's good enough. Lynn is not speaking.
Oh, she's communicating telepathically, or is it?
Something is wrong. Something is wrong because
Uh,
it's almost as if the recording didn't sync with the movie. Happens for like a second, and you all catch it. Well, Tower catches it.
hmm.
So yeah, Tower, you notice this.
Yes.
So her mouth movement and body language is not matching what is coming out of her mouth. And
She's possessed.
someone else in the room noticed too and tried to cover it up.
Oh.
So there's no harm to anybody, but you're aware of what I just said, Tower. Lady and
Right.
GOP are not, unless GOP wants to burn hero dice.
I want to let
No.
the P know
Huh?
what I. Can
Well,
I
his
tell GOP
his
what I just
telepathy
saw?
is in play. You know it is.
I'm going to telepathically then tell GOP.
Okay, and of course GOP can tell Lady if you'd like. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, something weird's going on with Lynn.
Um. Okay. Uh. I go. Lynn. Do you know who contacted us?
I have no idea why you're here. Can I get back to work now?
Well, you see, your boyfriend
Boyfriend?
reported you
I don't
missing.
have boyfriend. I have a girlfriend.
Eh, you got a boyfriend too.
Too much gender.
See, we were at your apartment.
Apartment? I live here.
You know,
That's city of
he.
Massachusetts. Okay.
Wait, what's up?
But I'll say that's not what the state of Boston has to say.
Now, Tower, being the social faceman center, you notice where I live here when she says that the madam is she tries to control it. She does it pretty well, but she's a little bit miffed by that answer, and you notice that her eyes seem to peel off to the other side of the room for like literally a fraction of a second, but it's suspicious. Therefore, you do have your telepathy up. You are curious. Please try make a telepathy roll and try to touch the room, please.
Who,
Eh,
me?
we'll do that again
See
then.
Oh,
Hopefully,
Tower, his telepathy is very useful in this situation. So I really think you need to replace that duplication power, which is you can do it, but it's going to slow down your combat a lot. with something else that's really useful.
Me and GOP will figure something out and fix it.
I just don't think it worked. If we were like in a heavy combat type of game, it probably would be a good choice. But in this situation, look how useful this telepathy is, right? Super
Yeah.
useful.
This
So
is a much better roll than my last one.
it is. It is. So we're looking at probably a. Well, it's up to you. You can either take a 9 and use the D8 as effect, or you can take a 10 and yeah, I mean, this or that. And I have
Fine
to.
on the
This is
D8
not a
effect.
once again not a Doom dice roll, so let me do like that. So let me make my roll. I really need to go read those things again. So alrighty here.
Oh,
Jesus. So you got 2 points to work with here, Tower. Excuse me, GOP. I failed miserably anyway. So in all honesty, I would just take them as pool points, take power points because I failed bad. So uh, over near the bookcase, of course, this room has a bookcase, right? Obviously. Over near the bookcase, something is hidden. Someone is hidden.
like is it? All right, so there's someone who's invisible, or is there something behind the bookcase? Like is
No, something in your minds are being messed with, and that's probably what triggered the roll. Now that you're wondering why did that just happen? There's someone in here manipulating the situation, but in general they're manipulating Lynn, not you. So it didn't hit you automatically. It was when they tried to cover up. But clearly, from the madam's responses, she's not happy with their puppeting here. It's not as it should be. She's not pleased. Anyway, what do you want to do?
all right. I'm going to attempt to do intimidation roll, uh, and basically I'm gonna look exactly over at the spot where they are. And like, enough with the games. All right, you're interfering with official business. Like I said, we're not interested in you guys. But if you keep playing this sort of crap on us, then it's gonna get worse.
The madam is
So,
like, fine, Gabriel, sit down. So, appearing in the room in front of all of you is a rather slight but old man. I mean, he's like probably pushing 70, right? Old dude, very slight, very small man, of Indian descent, you think. And he comes over and he sits down very timidly, and she's like, "Okay, fine, fine, fine. Uh, there's no need for, any kind of stuff. We're just following the boss's orders. Please just take her and go."
uh,
She, by the way,
I
Lynn is just standing there as if she were a doll now.
okay. Let's get her out of here first and foremost. Then we can ask her some questions. But I
Well,
don't
you
really
don't
think.
know because now that that guy is out of the situation, there is no Lynn.
Oh,
Just
so
keep in
okay,
mind
so
it
she's
stays up the
completely
whole scene,
catatonic.
so your telepathy's still working.
All right, so she's completely catatonic. Like she's not
No,
doing
it's
anything.
more than that. There is no Lynn.
Oh, she's not there at
No
all.
personality.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was just a husk. Okay.
No, no,
Um.
no, no. You're right. It's just a husk.
There's no personality.
Yeah, there's
All right.
nothing there. Now
What
you're
is going
occult.
on
Who's
here?
the occult? Who has the occult stuff?
That would be Tower.
Tower, make an occult roll on Lynn. Go over and examine her.
Okay.
So you pull out your
My
little magical occult stuff, whatever that accoutrement is, and
picture
you check her out.
will
What?
be D8. It'll be a D8, a D6, and another D8, D6, and a 2 D8 and D6. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. So D10, 2 D8s, and a D6. Go ahead.
Yep. I was loading up the app. All right.
Okay. Well, I got another deal. Oh, this is going to be an ugly fight, dude. Jesus.
Well,
Um, I
is
have
that fight going to
so much nonsense to throw at you. It's a good roll though. So good enough. This is in this situation I would use. Yeah, let me make my roll though. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. Let me do that again.
I wouldn't want a one. It's just single dice either.
Oh wow. Okay. Tower,
Oh
you get a
wow.
PowerPoint. Yeah, I failed. I'm rolling bad. You get a PowerPoint though, Tower.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But you succeed. You beat me with using the D8, by the way, which is nice, but which is better. Actually, you beat me using the D10. So uh, this you've studied this before. You've read about it. You haven't seen it yet. It's your first time seeing it. This is a husk. That is, they usually call it a rider, where it's set up in such a way that any lingering spirit, any veil spirit that has the right combination, magical combination, can ride it for a time. So Lynn is gone. There is no Lynn. She's dead. Right? You don't know what happened to her soul. You don't know you don't know that. But there is no. This is a soulless husk, but it has certain runes on it. Matter of fact, you find the runes on the back of her neck. This is what is called a rider. And there are one thing that's very important to understand about this tower. They are highly illegal.
Oh.
This is like a cop walking into a house and seeing a kilo of meth on the table.
Oh. Yeah, I look at GOP and I'm like, we should probably call someone.
Yeah. Before we call someone, well, we can't really do anything at this point. But before we do that, oh, by the way, you have a hero dice from that. Just letting you know.
Oh, that's right. He does have a hero dice from that. Take another hero die.
Uh,
Now
yeah,
I'm
that would
rolling
be
really bad today, so you guys have been getting all kind
a
of
lot of
stuff.
us are rolling ones.
They've been getting good ones. I've only rolled once.
Wait. What size hero dice am I taking?
Would it be a D10 because that's how it
It
works
would
with
be
the
the
effect?
effect, yeah, D10.
Okay.
All right. Holy shit, I have a D6, a D10, a D10, a D8, a D12, a D6, and another D10.
Shut up.
So start using them, dude. When you fail,
Yeah.
when you need it, right? Anyway, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We're way behind here. We're really trying to get to the. I don't know if I probably should just call it, huh?
Yeah, we should probably have the big conclusion because I'm gonna assume it's gonna be something.
Well, I do have it,
Yeah.
but I mean, how long is that going to take? And my wife just
No, that's
moved
what I'm
in.
saying. We should do that next week. Well, that'll
Yeah,
be
we
the
should. So
final.
that's a bummer. I really wanted to get it in.
I know.
Um,
We're almost done.
we are,
We're a
we
little
really
bit
are.
over.
But that's all right. I'll have another adventure ready to go. Maybe I'll just create a real simple one to finish up that, in essence, the boss fight we have to get to today. But so yeah, Tower lets you guys know, and well, like I said, you're not enforcers. You can make arrests, but at a minimum, I don't know. There's any way you don't call that in, right?
Yeah,
It is
we have.
highly illegal. Those things are illegal because these things can only be made by burning out and in the process torturing a soul to oblivion. This is one of the worst crimes you can do from an umbral point of view. Is
And
because
that's
it's
always
one thing to
done.
murder a body, it's another thing to murder a soul. And these things can only be created that way. Tower knows this because he's at that level. You guys might have seen it in a book, but he knows it, right? So it's like one of the worst crimes you can commit in this society. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
We just we just thought it was prostitution. Like, oh, that's the prostitution. You made a troll. But this
Yeah,
is like,
trolls are not
yeah,
illegal though. They should be, but
yeah,
they're not.
but like it. this is like something where like we literally you murdered someone in front of us kind of levels of we can't look away, we can't
Right.
allow that to go.
Well, in
Well,
the cosmology of this world, no, you can't. It's a serious situation. But in the cosmology of this world, um, the old way of doing of putting a dead soul into a living body, a mortal body, is with a dead body, right? And that's why there's so many
Mhm.
quote unquote undead creatures because the body was dead. Now there are other ways where the body is still alive, and this is where things get a little bit dicey. Now, if the soul is released, the focus of a of dove becomes a little less. But when the soul is forced out, forcibly put out, this is a crime, right? So, and especially in this case, because you can only create a rider by literally burning the soul out. It needs that energy to make the rider to be functional. So it's highly illegal. Anyway, interesting. I really was hoping to get it done, but I dilly dally 30 minutes in the beginning, didn't I? It's my fault.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, it is my fault. But
we did
nevertheless,
better than the first one though.
I did. I did. I got real close. I just have to got to get used to it. Got to keep them in time because it's supposed to be an episode. This is an X Files episode, right? Um,
X-Files episode.
we got so close too. Oh my God, it's just a fight left. But anyway, we got to go. I got to go. My wife just walked in, so I got to go. But nevertheless, because I have a busy day. Thank you all for coming in. Hopefully, everybody had a good Christmas and, of course, a Happy New Year. I'm assuming we'll see everybody this month normally, but for me, what's today? Wednesday, right? This is my Wednesday, right. So for me, next week I'm going to be in Nagasaki, so I will not be here. Oh, no, what's today? Today,
Wait, no, Kagi.
what
It'll
That's a
is
be
the day
the
today?
3rd or
Today is
4th of
the
next week.
28th. Oh no, I'm sorry. So next week I will be here. But on the week of the 11th, I will be in Nagasaki. So on the 11th there will be no show, but next week there will be. So everybody come on back. Also, I think we're doing Drawn and Quarter this week. I'm pretty sure we are. So come on back for that as well. Anyway, anybody have anything to say?
Good night.
how is Nagasaki after the war?
What?
Huh?
How did Nagasaki recover after the war?
Completely.
Yeah.
Very
Nice. Yeah. Anyway, later, everybody.
Goodbye now.
nice.